This should be the correct version. Hopefully, otherwise I have a problem. I have two different save files. Because it has some elements that carry over between attempts, and I wanted to have it on a fresh save. So I boot the game in Windows rather than Linux. The screen is frozen, why is that? This is not what it's supposed to be. This is where it's saved, okay. I'm almost dead. And I got blue spores. Notice I've been smacked near the river, but it will probably take them at least several more suns to find your den. The great green awaits you when you're ready to move on. I am streaming. Your body is crippled and agony assaults your mind. The shadow of destruction lies heavy upon you. Rest and heal or face eternal silence. You are hungry, your core sings a growing song of emptiness, occasionally to remind you of your duty as a destroyer of all life. You seem to be glowing blue, and Ada may know more. I have the Fool and the Hermit. "13 shiny things and a face for his face." This Deva artifact bears some resemblance to the flattened face of a mature no-till giver converted into baffling material and somehow peeled away. It smells downright bizarre, and it's hard to imagine that this has any real value. But the Burning Ones treasured it, and it's seemingly indestructible. So, I already have my streams running. I don't know if I have anyone here yet, but I guess I will just start. Okay. Standing near one of Darktooth's scent marks, you have let out a song of annunciation, and after a short time, the Elderkin arrives. It settles its body down among the hills, like a low mist, and waits for you to state your purpose. Naturally, any question must come with an appropriate payment. "Hello, Auntie. How shall you address the Elder?" "Great One, sing to me of the no-tills, sing to me of the others, sing to me of the elements, sing to me of the kin, why are we here? Sing to me of the subtle beings, sing to me of the enkindled, of the delvers, of the greatest being in the one song. I found an interesting object. What about the blue fungus? Do you wish to trade? May I leave your presence?" That's why last time I didn't want to get through all of this before quitting. There's a lot here. Let's start with the fungus. "How shall you address the Elder?" Asked Darktooth about the blue fungus. "A presumptuous, troublesome thing. Like all fungus, it is other, unrelated to the plants and beasts born of earth and sun. Its descent was before the age of rising, and when air and water were still weak and fire was strong. You have lived in relative harmony with the fungi, some are even beneficial. Beware those which emit their own light or have strong color. However, they could bring destruction even to the great beings such as we. If it is taken root within, you must make your body inhospitable. Certain warriors among the Tilbeast tribe carry a deadly venom. Consuming one raw will eliminate the fungus from you. There is another way as well, more certain and immediate, but only a desperate youngling would willingly choose it. There are two prices to pay, one of treasure and one of agony unimaginable. So you will see the death bite tail beast and rid yourself, or ask to purge the blue blight from your body, expensive and painful as it may be. The problem is I don't know if it does damage or if it sets your HP to minimum, because I am at minimum HP as you can see. I might kill myself if it actually does damage, so I'm gonna avoid it for now. Okay, let's go through this. Saying to me of the Notirs. Notirs, the tailless seed of the other, the broken custodians. They are the bearers of many blessings and many curses. Casually they shatter the great laws by which all beasts are bound, and many of our relations have been enslaved or destroyed, even to the last one, by them. Their music is strange, their deeds unfathomable, unless a secret is known. Such a secret cannot be grasped by your incipient mind. A mere hatchling must not seek to test itself against their flying claws and stone fangs. Destruction would surely follow. In turnings to come, a young drag might be ere to understand their power, and perhaps become worthy of dealing with them, for good or ill. But this is neither the time nor the place for that. A wise hatchling would leave Hardbone Valley before the Notirs discover it. A foolish one would tarry too long, losing its treasure, at least, and perhaps even its existence. A snack. Yes, I have to eat a snack. A Longmar snack. Only in the great green, where the tailless fear to tread, may one survive long enough to see many turnings. Such is my song to a youngkin. You've gained knowledge of a certain mysterious animal, you gain air mastery. These all give bonus stat lines, so even if you you might as well go through all of them, they're worth it. Saying to me of the others. The myriad tribes of fur, feather, and scale, of all those who adhere to the true way of destruction and creation, whose minds are clean and pure, these are the good beasts, offsprings of earth and sun. A wise kin would respect them all, from the least to the greatest, for though they are of less power than we, they are our relations, and their music is harmony. The others, however, are those whose music is dissonant, whose ways are strange, because they are no longer, or perhaps have never been, children of the great giver above and the great birther below. They violate the ancient ways, hunting without destroying and destroying without hunting. They are of several kinds, but they always carry a mark of the other nature, a lack of such thing as good beasts have, such as feathers, fur, scales, or even tails. If one is unfortunate enough to encounter one, a wise drag would be cautious and never presume to know their minds or their strength. It was the others who, beyond turnings ago, overthrew the dominion of the drag and ended the golden age. When you have shed your copper birthskin and have more feathers on your chest, perhaps you will be worthy to know of the fall and how the others ciphered the great music of our people, until but a humming whisper remained. Until such knowledge is gained, only a most foolish hatchling would dare to meddle in the affairs of the other. Such is my song to youngkin. The elements. The great four, as your legs uphold you, so do they uphold reality, and cause its movement and its progression. They come into being through the circular dance of the cosmos, from the longing of the sun for the earth and the earth for the sun, and of all beings for each other. They are these: air, bearer of song, the great uplift, element of speed and the mind. It resists boundaries, invisible and unstoppable, searching always for new ways. Of all the four, it is swiftest and most free. Fire, the devourer of the hungry one, element of destruction and power. Within fire is the sacred lust which drives all good beasts to the dances of creation and destruction, the will to power, pride, and ambition. In the outer reality, it is the bright dancer, the seed of which we carry within our cores and breathe out upon our foes. Water, the ever-changing one, shapeshifter of three forms, elements of hidden things, transformation, and the senses. Water is the very essence of the great Bertha, without which she and all of her hatchlings, even the drag, would perish. Water flows red within and clear without, but in any form it shifts and changes to fit any vessel. Learn its truth, for life shall twist you into many shapes, and unless you are like water, you will shatter. Earth, the endurer, the nurturer, element of fortitude, patience, and wholeness. It is the flesh and bone of the great mother, strength of the mountains and the land beneath our claws, undying, unshakable. It moves not of its own volition, but remains always itself. From it we learn to be steadfast, to know ourselves, and to build up our bodies and our treasure troves into unassailable peaks beyond all detraction. Both within and without, these elements guide, facilitate, challenge, and inspire all beasts. To know them is to know them in the self, in other beings, and in nature is to know the true cause of every effect. Fire devours air, air dominates water, and water destroys fire. Earth stands alone, undestroyed and undestroying. Learn these truths, and in all dances you shall be elegant and powerful. Such is my song to a young kin. Sing to me of the kin. What are we and why? In the beginning there was sun and there was earth. In true dance of creation they were one. When they came apart, earth carried a burning seed within her, and in the fullness of time brought forth life, first those of tiny simple music, and then a vast symphony of bodies and minds. At last she burst her ultimate creation, the Dragon, our people living fulfillment of the power of the earth and sun, true children of above and below. Of all beasts, we are the crest, the crowning feathers, high and beautiful are we. Our fangs are crafted of earth's undying substance. Our breath glows with the power of the sun. By these gifts we became the bearers of power, the beasts before whom all others bowed, and all beings were our prey. That was the golden age, the time of dominion. Then came the skyfall, and all fell to ruin. But that is a truth not yet for your young mind. Know only that we are the greatest of all those who embody the music of this world. Today 5 clans of the Dragon tribe remain. Your clan, the Emerald kin, who dwell mostly in the green. My clan, the Sapphire kin, will make their lairs in the blue, where the spirit of water is sovereign. The Ruby kin will dwell in the earth's flesh, close to the secret fire within her breast. The Onyx kin, scion of the void, whose ways are shrouded in mystery, and the Crystal kin, of whom very few remain. Like all good beasts, our function is to destroy our prey, thereby purging earth of excess and impurities. By following this great way and engaging in dances of destruction and creation, we become stronger and stronger, larger and larger, until we become voids ourselves, around and within which new and marvelous things may be. So do we inherit the legacy of the earth and sun. This is but a shallow answer given to one just begun. There are truths beyond this, but they cannot be trapped within sigils and signs. True enlightenment is never granted to one by another. It sleeps in the heart, and it is awakened by their own echo in the mind. Such is my song to a young kin. What is it? Let's just go through. The subtle beings. Subtle beings are those who exist and yet have no visible body of their own. Some, like the spirits of the Great Four, also in case you're wondering, I can ask about things I have encountered, which is why you do other stuff, and then you go to him, because going to him takes a day. So you kind of want to do everything else in the area, go to him, and then ask him the questions. So it's not like I could have gone to him on the first day and the game would just load all of this exposition onto me. The reason why it's so exposition heavy is effectively that's the efficient way to meta game it. So all of these are like things we encountered in the void before. These are, I think, the disease. Subtle beings, those who exist and yet have no visible body of their own. Some, like the spirits of the Great Four, whom we call elementals, are shards of a greater truth trickling down through our reality. These are to be treated with great respect, but also caution, for the truths they sometimes possess are so powerful that they can break both mind and body. Some subtle beings are not expressions of great powers, but merely echoes of destroyed beings whose music can still be sensed. These are called ghosts. So I guess this is in reference to the water element that I kept interacting with. A ghost has neither body nor mind and cannot learn or grow. It's like a scar. Though the moment of injury is long past, it remains behind to mark the surrounding place. All ghosts fade away in time, but they can make particular places very unpleasant until they do. Some subtle beings are simply illusions, unliving phenomena, which somehow mimic life. These are not truly beings, but sometimes even the drag can be fooled into believing they are. The others are capable of creation. The others are capable of creating such things, woven of light and sound, but without substance. And so they are counted as subtle beings, but are more accurately thought of as false rather than subtle. Finally, there are beings who swarm unseen about us, tinier than the tiniest of tiny beings. They cause various effects. Some are harmless, and some bring illness and unrest. So that's a disease. They have many names, so they are commonly known as dis-ease. I love the writing in this game. Dis-ease. Some less knowledgeable beings may speak of an illness brought about by a subtle being, but in truth it was brought about by being so small that nothing could be done to stop them. Know which kind of subtle being you face and proceed accordingly. Such is my song. Saying to me of enkindling. Dark-toothed crest feathers lift slyly, though mild, it is first time you have seen the elderkin surprised. Such truths are not often known to hatchling. Sing to me of your knowledge. After explaining your encounter with an enkindled being and offering Darktooth 3 shiny things for its counsel, it is silent for a long time, as though considering how to respond. All beings undergo subtle changes from generation to generation. They are refined, transformed, transformed, Darktooth sings, the song measured and careful. It is possible by sharing one's essence with another to accelerate the process, incurring eons of flow change upon life within a shortened span. Such an act never changes a being's essence, but both body and mind may drastically be altered, and new gifts manifest, new ways of expressing the truth which slumbers within. Great caution must be observed when this sacred power is used. The hatchling before me must grow much wiser and much stronger before more is said. The sun only this will be sung. The true nature of all this sun only this will be sung. The true nature of all beings, from the largest of the smallest, is bound to the heart of the one song. Bringing these forth is the essence of enkindling. Sure. The true nature of all beings, from the largest to the smallest, is bound to the heart of the one song. I am out of money. For an interesting object. For the face mask, which I need 5 to identify. I can trade. Stand feather grunt hard enough to make the feathers puff out. Trade. A young king suggests trade. With a being who has seen thousands of turnings, millions of suns, does it imagine that it could possibly have anything worth bargaining for? And yet presumption and arrogance are the enemies of wisdom. We are far more poeticious than we could possibly make use of, and perhaps a young king might find vaguely useful in restoring energy. Poetesses are abundance of plant sages, herbs of great power, which when applied to torn flesh hastens its mending. They are but a byproduct of a recent experiment. Others among the kin have more elegant ways of repairing their bodies. Vaguely fierce and fierce the essence, rather than the body. Some tailors steep it in flame-ticket water to prevent sleep and promote vigor. A kin, even a young one, could simply eat it whole to grant a burst of energy. Be wary, however, it is a poor substitute for hunting, which feeds the whole self even onto the soul. But if a young kin wishes to give shiny things for these, there may be mutual profit. And if a young kin wishes to offer up a research artifact for trade, we may be willing to part with shiny things if it seems beneficial to our studies. I can offer an artifact, but I don't have one. So I'm out of money. Now I leave. Darkness responds by taking to the other. Grasses of the fields bow down low in respect as it beats its mighty wings. Soon it is swallowed by the sky. So I need to eat a thing or die. You have achieved the third grade of Mastery of Flame. You may now intimidate your opponents, reducing their ability to think clearly and reducing the air affinity. You've mastered the dreaming, the boundaries between what is and what may be. You may now use the thing. Sure. You can avoid your opponents in battle. This deals a small amount of non-physical damage and overload the senses, reducing water affinity. Nice. Use of lucid dream ability with greater effects and a longer duration. I think I've never actually used it, and I'm not going to right now because it's gonna kill me. I'm dying from being blue. You're hungry. You seem to be glowing blue, and I may know more. I'm no longer at least at the most crippled state. I don't think he said where I can get the snake though. I'm pretty sure it's this area. No, this is not the area. This is a sheep. The main story didn't say it really. There are many. Here's a hills of being slowly nibbled barren by multiple Furbies, members of the once brave Surefoot tribe, are now slaves of the Notice, weak and servile, though the flesh remains savory and healthful. There are many of them, mostly birthless and hatchlings, and you could hunt here several times before numbers go thin. On their necks and the stone walls. On their necks and in the stone walls that encloses them, however, they bear the mark of servitude which the tailors have placed upon them. Attacking these slaves of the Notice may provide much food, but may be consequences in the future. No, I do not actually. Poking the tailors, while still so small, is probably unwise. Hunting free beasts while less certain carries less potential. You turn away. It should not use up time. Okay. I think it's this one then. None of these are what I wanted. Encounter a lesser slight claw, foraging for food. Following the ways of its people, it makes no sign of acknowledgement. It seems not to know you're here. Its body and yours are nowhere near each other. The wind is neutral and will not affect this hunt. I might have a problem if I don't get the thing I need, because I'm gonna die. For the rest, the Cyclops' flesh was woefully bitter, smacking of tiny fur beasts beneath your dignity. So cats don't taste good? Okay. Well, let's keep eating cat. You have to move quickly. Sure. Great. I didn't actually want to fight it. I didn't even hit it. Just set you on fire. Shit. This is a terrible way to die. I don't want to die. Okay, it's just on a bunny. This whole thing has been a disaster. Hope I don't die yet. I've died by bunny before. So I'm really gonna die if I don't. The problem is I have no way to get money. So there's one. So I could either take a risk. I could technically leave the area. I think that saves me. Funny enough. Don't ask me how that works, but I think if I change, but then I would lose a lot of time. He wants snakes, but I don't know where you get snakes. Do you get snakes in water? I wish he told me what area I find the freaking snakes. Dude, I could go to the bunny area again. It tends to rotate through stuff. Or I can go to the water. There's not even assurance that I would survive the snakes, and I don't have any money. And because I used up all my money. Ah, fuck it. I'm gonna go back there again. Yeah, it was stupid. I don't even want to waste my time with this, to be honest. I know I'm gonna die. I'm still not dead. I should... In hindsight, I should just have made money. Sunny if discovered a hidden outcroppings, beautiful giant stone peeking through mother rock. This particular kind called silver is some worth, but you need a mighty fire of some kind. Use my teeth. Leave it for now. Hidden option. I can leave it for now. Doesn't use up time. Yeah, I fucking knew it. The blue fungus which has entered your body has been filling your lungs more and more, and with each passing sun, at last you are unable to take in enough air for a dormant and soon enter the great silence. The fungus makes a lair out of your body, which it finds to be further place indeed, and continues to stretch out for supper deadly fangs towards its other hapless creatures. The problem is now I'm in a death loop, because I only get put 1 day back. And I still don't have the healing. Fear and agony fade, replaced by familiar scent of earth and the sound of air and water outside your lair. With a sigh of relief, you realize the tragedy you experienced was merely a dream. You're safe for now. When you meet your end, you lose the sigil and begin again from the previous sun. In such a case, the end you witnessed was but a dream. All gains and losses from the sun are revoked, and you are given another chance. Take care not to repeat the same mistake. Should you perish with no signs of life remaining, you will experience true death, and your adventures will end. The new life must begin. There are some benefits from your past experience, such as tarot cards and creature mastery levels domain. Fate will spare you but a few times. Only those who are bold yet cautious, brave yet wise, will survive the fulfill their destiny in completing the cycle. May you be warned, may you be blessed. So now I'm kind of this is a garbage situation, but I'm just gonna do it. I'm probably gonna die later because it means I don't get as many experience points as I should, but I think this works. It's a bit cheesy, but whatever. I should have remembered to do the mask thing. Oh, whatever, I messed up. Okay, close this. You have come to a sacred place. Any good beast could sense. It's a verdant valley, redolent with laurel, mint, and sweet decay. A being more powerful than even kin has claimed this place and what lies beyond. This is the entrance to the Great Green. The Great Green, the forest primeval, where your people have hunted since the first kin emerged from its chamber. It is infinite with its beauty, and its danger is changing as turnings pass. Though its denizens of long ago are mostly gone, the spirit of the Great Green remains forever in its perfect state of constant transformation. This is the end of Hardbone Valley, where the great dark tooth lays claim to the land, and the notice built the inscrutable objects. No tailless has solid its place beyond with its otherish nature. Once you cross this threshold and take it for your own, it shall be your true home, your domain, and you may never return to Hardbone Valley unless it is to be by Darktooth's permission, or challenge him, a feat which you will surely be incapable of for centuries. The trees sway gently, and in them you can almost see hidden shapes, visions of what may be, how you might build your life in the void. Has the time come at last? In fact, they are actually shapes. This is a wolf. This is a deer. Where you gather up treasures and leave. I have to, because otherwise I die. Deep in your core, you sense that this is the boundaries of your infancy. If you continue on, there will be no returning. Are you truly certain it's time to leave Hardbone Valley, the place of your hatching, behind? This is probably a bad idea. It's just gonna... Did I say no? No, okay. You return to your den and swallow up your treasures. You know that they are merely trinkets compared to the wonders that await discovery in your true home to be, but they represent the trials, the precious failures, and the successes from which you first learned, and you will regurgitate them when you found your lair within the Great Green. Pausing, you take one last look at the tiny den, already too small, which was your first home outside of the chamber. It will become a haven for other good beasts, and you begrudge them not. You have made up your mind, and this land is no longer home. But either way, I will probably just die from a later stat check. There's not a lot of stat checks in the game, but there are a few. But whatever. As you return to the boundary and take a single step across, your feathers rise instinctively. The spirit of the Great Green is watching you, judging you. and it is not alone in doing so. A coppery mass lunges at you from behind a nearby tree. You narrowly avoid being hit by a raking talon. Uteka is a true kin and a hatchling as you are. From its scent, it's obviously fruit of the same creator. One of its rear legs is warped, withered, and inward turned by some cruel trick of the one song. You decide to call your young kin Twist. It draws itself into as much of a traditional posture of challenge as it can, and hisses at you. Invader, defiler, turn back. The heart of the great green is mine. I alone am worthy to inherit the prey-ripe realm of my creator, the land for which it suffered, for which it was destroyed. My justice shall descend upon all who enter as surely and inexorably as the fall of the night. Begone or fear my wrath. Apparently Twist has claimed the great green, and quite recently at that. It has not properly scent-marked the border, nor does its essence yet creep through the soil or sink through the wind, and as it does when the land recognizes a new monarch. What will you do? Asked Twist. Inform, offer exchange, mock its deformity, express pity, challenge Twist. Ask it about its territorial claim. I am the flame of the flame, the one who overcomes. Though still in my infancy, I am feared by every long ear and creature in the place of my beginning. My greatness is such that the one song has seen fit to place a challenge in my flesh, a recognition of my exception in nature. Had my form been perfect, I would surely claim all earth for myself, but for now the heart of the great green will suffice. The verdant air is redolent with prey scent, and a powerful slumber here nearly equal to my own. Power slumbers here, nearly equal to my own. Yeah. It shall serve me well, begone, or be crushed beneath the weight of my incipient glory. Inform that you are kin. Obviously, I am not nose blind. We are kin, indeed kin within kin, but what of that? Our creator scattered many small life fires about, many chambers. Some lay fallow, the seed of the life incomplete within. I found one such, and consumed it. Others escaped the chamber, but were destroyed by weakness of body or mind or essence. They were failures, so it is with many in this deadly yet impartial reality. But I forged glowing greed in my core, a blue-hot desire to overcome, to gather all to myself. And I endured, and so have you, kin of my kin. This sun, we shall discover which of us shall inherit the territory for which our mighty creator gave its life. I don't have any treasure, I'm not gonna mock it, I will not express pity. I can challenge it. Let it be so. I will show you the strength of mind which has overcome every obstacle. There can be no hatchling among the kin who is more clever than I. As challenge, it is my right to set the terms. If you can answer 2 riddles, one after the other, I shall withdraw forever. Save us fantasy while you can. You will not be victorious. Let the mind challenge begin. Sun and moon may rest upon me, yet I am not burdened at all. I have no face, but when I dance I sing. Though I am not your home, stay, you may dwell in me for a time. But stay not too long, not too long. What am I? Sun and moon may rest. When I dance, I sing. I feel like it's air, but it's. But stay not too long. I don't know why is it not too long. Sky. Sun and moon may rest upon me, yet I am not burdened at all. Wait, it has to have something to do with the sky or the air or something. Or, I mean, I have no face, but when I dance I sing, which sounds like wind. Though I am not your home, You may stay dwell in me for a time. Stay not too long, not too long. What am I? Could be water because of reflection. But does water sing when it dances? How does water dance? That's the one that confuses me. And how does water not have a face? I mean, I feel like water has a face, kind of. And I mean, even the dwelling in me. The thing is, I guess it's random because I swear I had a different one last time. I think the other one was easier. But maybe my mind is just tired. Sun and moon may rest upon me, yet I am not burdened at all. I have no face, but when I dance I sing. No, I'm not your home. I'm just gonna go with there. My fur and feathers are green, though my essence flows not red. Your beginnings was within me, and so shall be your end. What am I? I don't know why I'm really tripping on these right now. My fur and feathers are green. I mean, like it's sounds like nature, or I even need to think like they do. Fuck, Earth. But why was my beginning within you? I mean, yeah, I guess I'm gonna go with Earth. I just find that line weird. Times are numbered. I guess it's until I get 2. I don't know. Either way. Times unnumbered have you taken me in, and just as often given me back, only to take me in again the very next moment. This I know what it is. So I think the first one was water, because I think these are all the 4 elements. I think it probably has 4 sets of questions. So that was water, this was earth, and this one is air. Because that is the one I remembered. You are victorious. Your superiority proven is forced to slither away in search of a new home. With so little land unclaimed in this void, and weighted down by both youth and deformity, its chances are slim. But such is the way, the good way of the Dragon. The strong survive, and the weak perish. Nothing now stands in your way. It is time to cross the threshold. With essence ablaze, you enter this realm, this place of magic, this setting for the grand adventure which will be your life. The great green shall belong to you, and you shall belong to it. So it is sung by the music in your heart. Following custom, your journey for his sons after leaving Hardbone Valley. Your new home must not be too close to Darktooth. You will need good and wide hunting grounds, and the Elder's power should not be slighted. You are gloriously alone. There is no trace of the Notaires here, nor has there ever been. Their kin has never marred the heart of the Great Green, the wild forest primeval. This turning of earth draws too close. A colder wind ruffles your feathers. He made a really dumb deal. Yeah, I guess. The turning of earth draws too close. A colder wind ruffles your feathers. The trees are shedding. the scales falling around you in golden tribute. I mean, to be fair though, like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of him if I fight him, if I wasn't completely dying, but he doesn't know that, I guess. A bone-deep fatigue sets in. Your first great sleep looms. You must find a lair to claim and a place to lay your body and your treasure. One crisp sun, you see it, a high swell of Earth's flesh, a place of sight and safety. It is high enough to survey the lands around it with impunity, yet low enough to allow easy access for a young kin such as yourself who cannot yet tread the air. Near the top of the great hill, you find a source of blessed water murmuring down the stones into a small pool. The earth beside it has been hollowed out by some good beast in time now gone. It will take some time, but you may be able to expand it into a proper lair. You weary paws are unwilling to move from this place. You drink deeply from the cool, clear water before you go into sleep inside the shelter, hoping for a sign that this hilltop refuge is meant to become yours. It's a bit cheesy that I'm doing it while, like, technically dying, but I don't want to restart the game, so whatever. As you sleep, you dream something is touching you lightly, so lightly that it's only a touch of sorrow, but you smell the mighty essence around you, over you. This game has some amazing art. It is greater than the greatest kin, and yet less than the least, devoid of a body, and yet holds your entire being within itself. It cradles you in a wordless song, which is the wind in the grass and the flowing waters. The trees sing prayer to it, in reverent creaks and rushes. It remains with you for a time, and then silently withdraws, your innermost being reaching after it as it passes from you. When you awake, you know in your core that the soil of this land, the spirit wood, heart of the great green, has accepted your presence here. Your essence and mind are in agreement. This land shall be yours. All that remains is to announce your claim to the kin and hope that they do not challenge it. After scent marking the surrounding regions, you lift your forepaws from the ground and spread your wings. Reaching out with voice and mind, you sing the traditional song of claiming. Here I stand under sun's gaze, my claws firmly rooted in the land. In the name of air, water, and earth, and fire. I take this land unto myself. Its flesh is my flesh. Its essence is my essence. All good beasts here I claim as my prey, source of my life. All treasures here I name unto myself. So it is sung, and so it may be. Only the wind answers, and as the sun fades, with no challenge, no replies from any other kin, this land is now yours by right, and not a moment too soon. Your first great sleep is nearly upon you. You dig out a small chamber within the cave opening atop the hill and lay your body down within it. Your mind is sliding downwards into a warm void. With the last of your strength, you seal the chamber, and the darkness swallows you. Yeah, my blueness, I think, got reset. For the structure that we raise, time is with materials filled. Hours, todays, and yesterdays are the blocks with which we build. Those alone can we attain to those turrets where the eye sees the world as one vast plain, and one boundless reach of sky. Oh shit, it's not gone. Maybe I won't. No, I think it's fading. Okay, there we go. We're good. There's no measures within the great sleep. You have become unacquainted with time. After a beyond long absence, your mind begins to drip back into your body. A drop per moon, per sun, per turning, you cannot be sure. Eventually you can feel your flanks moving with each slow breath, your limbs, your scales, your feathers. When you at last feel your eyes again, you open them to the darkness briefly. You see nothing, but it's still a minor victory. Suns later, you guess, you're able to drag your claws against the packed wall of dirt sealing you in. You are so weak that you fear you might die here. At last, however, you see the signs of light. You are desperately thirsty and so hungry that you cannot even feel your core, but you have survived your first great sleep. You widen the gap and squeeze your body out through it, surprised at the difficulty. I mean, technically I would totally die from the fungus, but Hey. Hey, I'm very blue-green. Yeah, the colors are dependent on you. This reason soon becomes clear. You have shed the short limbs and coppery armor of infancy to more colorful coverings and larger, sleeker frame. It's almost like having a brand new body. You have left your old life in the Hardbone Valley behind completely. The Great Four have put their mark upon you as well. Your armor and feathers have taken the color of the element which you favored. Already you are unique, different from all other kin. You have the third, the fourth, the first, and the fourth. So I'm really, really not tanky. The sight of your current self fills you with pride. Quite a long time must have passed, but you have endured. The warming earth below your paws, the air flowing over the hilltops, and even the water which you now drink, or a taste of adventure. Your wood has grown larger. This land, the Spirit Wood, is greater than the Hardbone Valley. As you explore and claim its treasures, you will be tested in many ways. With each success and failure, you will learn and grow, and able to take greater challenges. Prey here is more diverse and also more dangerous. Tiny creatures can no longer sustain you. 3 tails and long ears are too small to fuel this new body. You must seek larger prey. In time, you will also have to deal with the Dragon. Challengers may attempt to take your land from you at any time, and the nearby territories have masters of their own. You are still too young to challenge them for their land, should you desire them, but not too young to learn their ways and truth. Set word from your lair, you can barely make out the great tree where rests the spirit of the Great Green. It has accepted your presence, but if you wish to deepen your relationship with it, you must find way to its home. The Notaires have no presence in the first forest. Your time here is limited only by your own growth and your ability to protect against those kin who would take it from you. Your infancy is over, and your adolescence has begun. Explore, grow strong, and find treasure. It is only by learning that you will gather the powers necessary to become great. Make dragons great again. I have a freaking mask. Sun has risen. Life continues. That's, I think, a snake, funny enough. Okay, now we have this area. The shallow river several tendrils give this region its name, the Four Tails. It's healthy and diverse area, with deep woodlands between bright hills, which are beginning to brown as I approach the Ricewood Moor. Surely there's something interesting to find here. That said, not sure glass cannon bird is good. I feel like you always need green. Because of how combat works, you tend to do damage both sides. Let's go explore the Dogo. By exploring your lands, you come across a young warrior of the Clansinger people. It is alone, and unlike most of its kinds, when it senses you, it does not sing to gather its clan. Its body language is cautious yet respectful. It seems to be leaving its homelands, though you have heard that the Clansingers value the lands and family above all. What will you do? Communicate. You wordlessly hear the good beast with a plain, unhidden approach. It stops, waiting for you to draw near. There is only a tiny hint of fear in its scent. I am seeks through the boughs. What business has one of the ancient kin with the lone Clansinger? Asks why about its race and truth. The Clansingers are proud children of earth and sun. We have knowledge of a great truth. Many can become one. We join together to hunt greater prey. As we all know, even the great grazers are not safe from us. When we join together to hunt greater prey, as all know. Even the great grazers are not safe from us. When we see... this text is hard to read. When we see with many eyes, hear with many ears, and strike with many fangs. When we succeed, we celebrate with crystal pure song, and sleep drunk with warm flesh. But the truth of the many and one goes beyond this. We form bonds with each other in which a new essence is created, a spirit of the clan. Each clan has a different spirit, bound by love and defined by the wisdom of its members. From birth, we are taught not only to survive, but to love our clan, to love our prey, to love rich earth and clear night, and the scent of our creators. Our people are found all over the Great Mother's body, and our song echoes from every green. More proof that we are beloved of earth can never be given. Why is it leaving its people? I am loved by my wise birther creator and boy giver creator, and safe in the embrace of my clan. This land is rich and good. Few indeed would leave such wealth. However, it is the way of the clan singers that only the worthy may do the dance of creation. Only the mightiest birthers and the mightiest giver may join together to make the future. In this way, we pass down strength to those who come after us. The noble desire to create has arisen within me, and as I am related to the rest of the clan, I must seek out stronger woos. A stranger whose heart I will hunt, and who will hunt mine, and we shall become one, forging a new clan and bringing the song of my people to new lands. Most are content to live and die in the birther clan, but to bravely enter the unknown is a price one must pay if one wishes to pass on their essence. I will create, or I will perish, so I have sworn and surrounded my bonds, and sundered my bonds with my birth clan. I am cold and alone now, but I have chosen this path, and I will walk it with sure paws and clear eyes. Know anything about treasure? Indeed, I know of many treasures. My creators split the night and fragment spirit are treasures to me. My clanmates, each of them I treasure in my heart and will never forget. The hill then where I was born is a treasure. The prey I have consumed are all treasures, and this land is a treasure. I hold them all within me, and they can never be lost or taken. It is sung that the kin seek strange treasure, things which cannot show love and which can be stolen away, yet are somehow valuable. If you seek such things, great kin, I know none. Why does people sing to the moon? We do not sing to the moon, that is a false truth. We sing upwards so that the sound goes out along the air path, traveling far before it falls back to the blessed earth and other ears. And we sing in the bright moon-drenched night, so that when it's easiest to hunt, for that is when it's easiest to hunt, and the land is at its most beautiful. Our praise, though, is not to the moon, but to our honorable prey who has given its life, so that we may live, and that our clan and the earth, great mother, for us all. I take it. I could do that. If I wanna be like a douche nozzle. But no. May you learn, live and love, great kin. If you love your people, can know. If love your people can know. Continues on its way with ease. Easy lopping gait for a long distance travel. You never see nor smell it again. Gonna starve if I don't get food soon. I think I do one more than I read. On this new sun, the great green takes you to an ancient tree, large in stature and rife with feather beasts and fur beasts. As you approach, a tree tail sings to you for aid with a frantic song. They mar, they break. Jesus Christ, this text. They mar, they break, they maim, skying the skin of our sacred home, feeding upon the tiny children of the feasting upon the tiny children of the green, the feather beasts, the bug borers, the defilers. We struggle to defend our sacred tree from these ruinous invaders, but the fire of destruction lives within you, great kin. Aid us now, destroy the bug borers. We will pay in shiny stones. Before you have time to decide, a bug borer sings to you as well, a song full of garnered frustrations. The starvers drive us from our prey. Zealots raving madness and righteousness. The fur beasts, the tree-tears, the fanatics. We struggle to survive in the midst of their favor, but the gift of destruction is yours to bestow, O kin. Aid us now, destroy the tree beasts. Jesus. Aid us now, destroy the tree tears. We will repay you with knowledge, for we are unbound and have gathered small secrets to ourselves. Sing a song to 8, sing a song to 8. The bark boars or the tweeters threaten to destroy the tree with your flame or refuse to get involved in a petty dispute. Do I get food if I eat one of them? Well, I am a nerd, so let's go the nerd route. I'm gonna help the birds. The bug boar's destruction of tiny beings hidden in the tree's flesh is part of the... Jesus. You give me a lot of knowledge. The bug boar's destruction of tiny beings hidden in the tree's flesh is part of the sacred way. They are not even directly threatening the tree tears. If the fur beasts were less fanatic about their tree, they could live in harmony with the bug boars. With a very warm breath, you project your mind song to the tree tears. To the lesser fur beasts, protectors of the trees, you have done these travelers a great dishonor. In refusing to bend to allow a just hunt, you have lost your right to your possessions. Surrender the tree to the bug boars or face the wrath of the kin. The tree tears are frozen by your decree. You let your inner fire grow again, and as soon as smoke becomes visible, the tree tears scurry to the surrounding trees in fright. The bug boars rejoice, for the great tree is rich in tiny beings. As they feast, they sing a knock-knock-knocking song about the ways of many of their winged brethren. Your store of green knowledge about air links has grown. Yeah, I'm gonna starve if I don't eat now. So we will eat. See, now I get the tail beast. So annoying. So annoying that like it wouldn't let me have that unlocked before, but now it doesn't. Whatever. Like if I had just been able to do that earlier. Whatever, we will eat it. The taste of the death by tail beast essence is upon the air. It is a bit ignorant of you. It's neutral. One, two, three. Nice strike. I one-hit it, that's good. You strike true, destroying your prey. You prevent it, consume it raw, roasted as fire. Right, I guess I consume it raw. While it tastes not bad, your core begins to subject shortly and you swallow the poisonous good beast. The unpleasant feeling is feels awful. You have learned more about... So don't eat it like that, that hurts. It was not worth it. Pungent or smelling of earth? Let's go with smelling of earth. Long ear. I think I've already finished them. And now it's harder to sneak up because I'm too big. Right, I'm gonna freaking eat it. Green air, water. Just gonna eat it. The redolent essence of the long ear dances upon your tongue. It is crippled and stands at the very shadow of destruction. Also, I have no idea. I think it did green. So it's gonna do water next. So then I do air. Even though, yeah. It was not good either. This is a terrible hunt. Let's go with the pungent. Lesser stink strike essence is upon your air. Its scent is free from the pungent smell of fear, blah blah blah. It's upwind from you, it will take longer to reach you. But it's actually surprisingly tough to sneak up on. So I'm just gonna observe it like 5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have to chase it. I can never do that. I don't know like what it's supposed to. No. I'm just gonna bite you again. I actually hurt myself more than it hurt me. Jesus, that's not good. Yeah, I'm being dumb. I'm really weak. I need to do Flowing Strike, I think. Ah, that was good. Okay. I'm so squishy. I'm getting fucking murdered by an otter or whatever this is. I guess it's like a skunk. This was terrible, but whatever. I win. Almost rancid, picket, and instinctive fiery essence. You feel nourished. That was not a great hunt, but I survived. Right, normally I think it's just a terrible hunting location. I need to unlock a better hunting location. Yeah, I think that's better. Like, it's because I'm larger than them. This zone has been clearly scent marked by territory of the Clansingers, predatory fur beasts who fill the green with their hymns. They have a reputation for courage and honor, despite the fact that they hunt in groups, which some see as cheating. The primary prey are stocky, tusk-snored people, whom you may also hunt here in the Packlands. Bats. Returning from an outing, you stop short of entering your lair. There's a potent smell wafting from the cave, grey, green, and odious. Cautiously you step inside, and looking up you realize the ceiling is moving. Little waves rippling across the surface. The cave is full of featherless, flying fur beasts, shriekers, thousands of them. They sing impossibly high songs to each other in a mesh of sound, which tickles your mind despite having been here for only a short time. Their leavings cover the floor. Watching you, they seem to be waiting for your next move. Chickens aren't bad to eat, make a meal of them. I'm not strong enough. Use your flames to incinerate. Attempt to decipher. I'm smart, I'm like brainiac enough. You listen to the song. You cannot hear clearly with your ears, for the songs are too high pitched, but you hear them with your mind. What has eyes but needs them not? What has legs but does not walk? What has wings but not one feather nor scale? We are the question and we are the answer. Sweet are we, like the nectar of our prey drinks. Like the nectar of our prey, or whatever drinks, from night blooming flowers. From our old to our young flows wisdom, so the colony, our true self, changes, yet ever remains the same. New songs are sung, new riddles forged, yet all know the glory of flight and the darkling sky. Wisdom we have, if you know how to ask. Treasure we have, if you know how to ask. Songs we have, if you have ears to hear. Songs we share, if you know how to sing. This is our way, the good way of the Shriekers. Offer to share a twilight of their choice. Sure. Perhaps surprisingly, the Shriekers are enthusiastic about the proposition. The huddle, sharing stories and possibilities rapidly among each other in excited ripple of sound and motion, and then finally turn to you. The elder sings in sharp tone, at the edge of hearing. The flowers laden with nectar, the clean aroma of night, the fragrance of rain, streets, and grasses. All of these are wondrous scents. Tell me then, of all things, what smells best? It is close indeed, right in front of your very face. Nose. The shriekers are one take flight and leave your lair, happily defeated, laughing in the very tiny voices at the answer they send their way. Voices at the answer as they send their way to a new home. Before it leaves, the elder from among them teaches you a secret method of extracting fire seed from the bad leavings. You collect enough of the stuff afterwards to make what amounts to a vat of pure destruction, just waiting for a flame to kindle it and unmake nearly anything. You call it a boom, for the sound it surely make, and store it away. So at least I got one bomb. I'm not like super... I'm trying to get through this without losing, though I'm not sure I can after that disaster. But I do need a bomb if I wanted to win this, which I have one. There's another way to get a bomb in the dungeon that I was in earlier. The one where I got the green fungus. But I didn't get lucky because it's a random chance. Some of the enemies you encounter have bombs. And if you kill them, you get bombs. So technically you can like get a bunch, but I never ran into an enemy that had one. But now I have one, so we good. This boom chords on account of the sound it will make when fire is applied to it, created out of shrieker leavings. It's not worth anything in trade, but using it would deal a large amount of damage to an enemy. I can look at myself. I'm very weak. Like, the one damage, a little bit of damage I took has already leveled down my fire. So. Not really. I think I only need one. I mean, they're useful. They're pretty much ways to win fights. But there's a number of things. I don't remember everything, so I might get some things wrong. But I think technically from this position I could beat the game if I did everything correctly. A sleepless night sends you wandering through your domain. It is still dark. A song of victory draws you to the top of a hill. Clan singers, you can barely see their bodies in the early dawn. Moon is gone and the sun has not yet been born, but you smell and hear them with a great clarity, and the spirits burn bright. The giver sheaf raises its essence-stained muzzle and sings a grinding song of warning from deep in its throat. Hear me, scion of the ancient ones, we are the claws of the spirit clan, many talents united in one paw. By strength and wisdom, and the generosity of this plain runner, we share a victorious feast well earned. Disturb us not, for we are many and one, and you are but one. Ask if they're not afraid, ask if they're not ashamed of the cowardice, warn them that aiding each other will breed weakness, challenge them. Ask if they're not afraid. Indeed, we are afraid. We know you hold great destruction in your mouth, lightly like an adult holds a club in its jaws. We know that a club. Lightly like an adult holds a cub in its jaws. We know that your claws are sharp, your fangs like unbreaking stone. That is why you should fear us. Though afraid, we choose to stand with honor. We see clearly and know our own hearts. We are mighty in one while you are one, many in one while you are one. If you doubt us, let us dance the final dance. I want to challenge them, but I don't want to fight them. I hope they give me another riddle. I'm not sure if they do. I'm not gonna insult them. The Clansters acknowledge your challenge by backing away from the kill. It lies now directly between you and they. Both the giver sheaf and the birther sheaf tears, raised and waving void back and forth. A trial by fang and claw, or a trial by song. I either want a song trial because I don't want to fight you. Silhouette against the fading night, the birther chieftain throws back its head and becomes a pillar of wild music. Its song slices through you straight to your essence as it recounts the honor and exploits of its clan. It sings of successful hunts against powerful prey, whose hoofs set the very earth quaking as it passed. It sings of the mighty voices of its people, how the songs have echoed from the mountains and run down the rivers to the great blue, where those who dwell below marvel at their truth. It sings of the seeds that they have planted in the field of time, cubs burst and raised with such skill that they journeyed alone through the unknown wilds to far lands and founded clans of their own. It sings of sacred pilgrimage taken by the clan to the heart of the great green, where they obtain the gnosis of the true being, that they are the claws of the spirit, talents of the green one. And finally it sings of the love which binds the clan together, which will never fade, and the others lift their heads in affirmation. The very stars seem to echo the songs. How shall you reply? Sing a song of wisdom. I'm not quite wise enough for that. Painting the one song. Sing a song of renown, encountering the accomplishments of the own. You must be very renowned and respected. That's not really gonna happen. The sad thing is, if I wasn't injured, I could do this. But because I'm injured, I can't. I should have rested. Well, whatever. You sing eloquent of many things which your vast mind can encompass, which no individual clan singer could, such glories as numbers and the secret of Shinestone and Earth, and many other silent children and green knowledge of great and small. You sing of the treasures you found, of the color and beauty and power, and how your shining trove is filled with many things which no Furbies could obtain. You can tell, however, that you are losing clan singers' interest. They cannot follow your line of song, nor do they care for such things as a drag would find beautiful and fine. In the end, you are fit to touch them deeply, and you know that is so. You are forced to retreat, your confidence weakened, the clan singers return to the feast. Your reputation among the kin has diminished. I'm unfamous. Thanks, Kim. At least I'm no longer wounded. You found the lair of the clan singers deep in the heart of the Packlands. Most of the clan is hunting this state, but they posted a sentry. Its posture and energy leaves absolutely no room for doubt. It's guarding some kind of treasure. Sneaking past that will be impossible, as it's directly blocking the lair. How would you proceed? There's an option. If you could blend in with your surroundings. Challenge it honorably. After several fighting and announce the challenge, Sentry replies, I am guard of the treasure. I am guards of the treasure, the one left behind. I am old, but I'm strong, forged in many battles. My body in essence is unified. In standing between our most prized possessions, anyone would take it. Though I fear you, I shall remain like a stone, unmoved and ever ready, and honor your challenge. Let the dance of destruction begin. I should really stop fighting people. I'm so dead. Yeah, I'm so dead. Yeah, I need to start fighting anyone. Okay, ignore that for now. It's so weak. Shadow River becomes two here, and so the local Goodbees often call this area as a split. This courtward edge of the Great Green is pleasant and fertile for the most part, but it's also part of the domain closest to the Tailless lands. Though they are still quite far away, you may seek your fortune here with little fear. I need to hunt. Let's go with the hatchling. The taste of tusk on hatchling, it will not affect the hunt. So it's about as strong as me. It's tankier than me. But as long as I get the first strike, it's gonna be okay. I still one shot in. And it feeds me a lot. Quickly. Hey, I actually got the hidden. This time I didn't. I just equip it, that's good. Okay, I'm fit. Now I'm gonna investigate the mask so I can heal up, which I should have done last time, but whatever. I think I'm gonna explore another area, because it doesn't cost, like, it's not really that relevant, so if you're not here. The river's edge area of the name, often given to the land near the warmwood bank of the shallow river. The largest body of fresh water in the Great Green. The meadows here are home to the great grazers, which are excellent to eat but very strong. You estimate the proximity of another kin, perhaps a visit to territory on the Quidward bank may be in order. Guess I'm just gonna do one of these random things for now. In your wanderings, you've come across a clan of tusk snorts. According to their way, all of the adults are berserkers give us exiled once they come of age, doomed to wander alone, and they are led by the eldest, who has overcome many trials, birthed many young, and seen many turnings. This group is slightly larger than usual and seems to have some purpose. Noses to the ground, they sing squawking, huffing songs, occasionally releasing scents which are languages unto themselves. The hatchlings shadow them, occasionally play fighting with each other or investigating the new smells. They have not yet detected your presence, but the legendary olfactory capabilities leave little doubt they soon will. Hunt, reveal presence. You allow yourself to be detected and approach, holding your body in such a way as to make it clear that you are not hunting. Nevertheless, the berserkers gather together, herding the hatchlings toward the center for protection, and forming a defensive phalanx. The eldest, however, releases soothing odors, and with a series of reassuring grunts to its fellows, opens its minds to you. When you inquire as to the purpose, you receive the following reply. We seek the flavor blessing, soft, black and sweet, dark savory fungoid brooding within the great mother's flesh. Only tusk snorts' noses are so keen, so refined as to scent them. Great honor shall I bestow upon those who find the most, for it is the fungal festival, the yearly truffle hunt. Attend the festival as an observer, announce that you will be contesting. Is a good beast of many turnings, perhaps spending time may help you understand them better. I can hunt them for them. I actually want to do this because I think it uses air. So let's do this. As you announce your intention to participate, many tusk snorts seem quite surprised. Truffles are not prey for drag, not being made of bad beast flesh, and the idea that only tusk snorts could send them was not an idle boast, but deeply held belief. Still, the tusk snorts are largely an honorable and honest tribe of good beasts, and the eldest allows it. This festival is the spirit of summer, and feast with the great green shall be shared by many. The old berserker sings, it is enough to convince others. How shall you hunt? As they do, only your senses, your nose, or superior intellect. I'm not smart enough for that, but I can try with my nose. Your tongue gently caresses the air rising upwards from the ground. You scent many things: rich earth, twin roots, sweet rot, occasional tiny beings. At times you smell the smallest hint of something unusual, but when you dig it up, you find it to be other than a truffle, nothing at all. It seems that under these circumstances, the mind can become overactive. Ultimately, you are unable to defeat the tusk snorts at their own game. But your defeat brings them much delight. Great is the scent skill of the tusk snorts after all. Wisely, the eldest offers you one of the dark boys of fungus as a gift, in tribute to your greatness. May the scent of my clan not cross your path in your hunger, and may the green one watch you with gentle eyes. I am not succeeding at much right now. But I got a thing. People call it truffle among fungoid. Have very high status. One might be so far as calls a drag of mushrooms. Not sure how that's useful. Though I did finish unlocking them for them. We are the people of the open senses, tasting scent in the air beyond the dreams of others. We smell what is hidden below Earth's rich skin, and become one with it, tasting the joy of life. Life and death we face with a warrior's soul, unyielding to despair. When seasoned with courage in the heart and love for family, all the world is a feast. This is a good way of the tusk snorts. These have leveled up my earth. You've earned hold balls for the earth. Enemies which can hide on the ground can no longer escape, but more importantly, I don't die as easily. Maybe I should just sell the mask to him and do all of the questions. I want to see what he pays me for the mask. I didn't want to sell the mask because you can use it later, but my one's gonna get screwed over anyway if I don't. The trek back to the edge of Dogtooth's territory takes most of a sun, but once you announce yourself, you are not kept waiting long. Scarcely have the echoes of your song faded when a dark-winged elder appears in the sky, gliding down, set before you. A young kin has survived its first great sleep. Not longer a hatchling, though still earthbound, formed and yet malleable like clay. The Spirit Road, heart of the Great Green, shall try, temper, teach, test. But there are other lessons which may not easily be learned from nature. Perhaps a young kin is prepared to begin the great lesson, or does one come for another purpose? $100 treasure, I sell it. I know that it gets me a thing later, but I need the money to not lose. So it is given, so it is sealed. Actually, funny enough, because I don't think I did encounter the Wildlings, so I don't know why I can ask about them. I'm gonna wait until he comes back. I wish I had sold the mask. Like, if I had just done that earlier, it would have made things so much easier. I lost so much experience because I had to leave the area. 100 treasure, I could have unlocked everything with that. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with the truffle. If anything. Can't wait forever. Any advice? The Spirit Wood, heart of the Great Green, may now belong to a certain young kin and name, but not yet does it truly belong to it. One's territory, be it dry or deep, great or humble, must be known and understood. When one has reached the 3rd degree in knowledge of air, fire, water, and earth, then one shall be worthy to find the Great Spirit which dwells in the Holy Vale. One should have its blessing if one wishes to endure. So I need... Welcome back. So I was trying to not do too much while you were gone. I did an event where I was hunting for truffles because I thought I could succeed at it, and I failed. And I got owned by freaking boars. And then I went to this guy. I did level up this to level 2 because I got the knowledge on the boars, which gave me stats. Then I went to this guy and sold the mask because I wanted to keep the mask. It's like the best item in the game if you can carry it all the way to the end of the game. But sadly I needed the money, so I sold it. But because it's like the best item, you get 100 gold from it, which is a lot. So I now have 100 treasure, which means I'm just gonna do all the questions with this guy in the hope of raising my stats and not game overing. And I asked him about any advice, which he told me to get the 3rd degree and then go to a place. When one has reached a certain degree in knowledge of air, fire, water, and earth, then one shall be worthy to find the Great Spirit which dwells in the Holy Vale. One should have its blessing if one is to endure. Also, it is not alone in being near to the heart of the great. One is also not alone in being near to the heart of the green. Other kin are near and may diminish one's hunting grounds if a formal agreement is not reached. A wise young kin would meet with the rulers of the Riverwood, the Skyward Reach, and the Empire of Reeds. One son, when one's wings are vast and light, perhaps they may be challenged for the lands, but that son is still many turnings away. However, one may also encounter wandering nomads. These are other kin who, bereft of a home, shall challenge the keeper of the Spiritwood. These shall be tested, tests which refine one's essence, as stone is refined into crystal by time and place. When the Spiritwood is invaded, then must the young kin stand, with its claws rooted in the earth, and conquer those who would take it. One must never retreat nor surrender. One must also learn the ways of many good beasts of the Spiritwood. One must not hunt in any one people, or any one place too often, or there shall be no more, and the land shall suffer, and the kin may go hungry, or worse. One's territory is always one's greatest treasure, never forget. It gave me Earth Mastery, which I need really badly. He also mentions a great lesson, which I will do, but last. Let's go from bottom up. I don't know what I can ask about the Brightlings. I don't think we encountered them, but it's fine. Just as there are many drag in the void, there are many words suspended in the great above. They have their own children, and the drag ocean above. They have their own children, and the dark ocean above keeps separate that which should be kept separate. The Brightlings, however, defy this. They come from a far sibling earth, carrying a shining yet dissonant music tower wood. They have never actively aided nor attacked the kin. For some reason, they seemed obsessed with the Notirs, taking on forms similar to the Notir birthers, and joining with them, dancing, becoming one. They also frequent the deep parts of the Great Green, and gather many things, tasting of them, though they never destroy, nor have any hatchlings of their kind been found. More than this cannot be sung, for nothing more is certain. However, a young drag might be advised not to fear them overmuch, nor to fall prey to their seduction, as the tearless ones have. Even if they would not harm us, it would be better if they were gone. Their overbright music was not meant for the sun, this earth. Maybe, though the Brightlings are like a specific thing I was supposed to meet, but it's fine. I think the game just expected me to meet them because they normally do, but because I left early I didn't, so it's whatever. Some call them the Crowned, and for good reason. The spirit of the Great Green has given them crowns, some visible and some invisible, which branch from their minds, and curve and point like beautiful trees. Be not fooled by the timid D. They are powerful indeed, and the green owes its existence to them, subtly, gently. They travel the sacred paths and destroy the hidden threads, which, if left alone, would bring ruin to all. Mighty are the kin, but even with our expansive minds, we cannot sense what they sense, cannot change fate as they do. This is in reference to the wood spiders, which is deers. Whatever they ask of a young kin, it would be wise to give it, even unto one's own pride, which is worth more than any of the shinestones held in the earth's body, and which should be guarded as one guards one's own life. Interesting. That is actually this is actually a useful line of information pertaining to an event you can have. Whatever they ask, always give it, even if it hurts your pride. The clan singers, makers of the soaring of many-voiced music, are fur beasts who reject the way of solitude embraced by strong beings such as the lumberers and the slight claws and the kin. Instead, they bind themselves, linking their destinies together. Even the mightiest lumberers and hillbacks fear them when they walk as one in one essence, though many in form. They claim to have discovered love, a force which makes two as strong as three, and many as strong as many more. Some claim this is mere delusion to justify the strange way. Others say there is a powerful music at work in this love. It is not for the kin to follow their way. We were to bend ourselves to other kin, the land would not endure. And were we not to bind ourselves, were we to bind ourselves to other beings, our kin essence would languish, and we would become weak and complacent, ripe for destruction. The love of the clan singers gives them strength, but it can also be used to defeat them. They care for their clanmates, and especially the young, so great that more than one drag has defeated powerful chieftains of their kind simply by threatening that which they love. Still, the clan singers are an honorable people in their way. They never resort to falsehoods, bravely battle mighty enemies, and their minds and hearts are pure and clean as sky. A wise drag might find them useful tools, and of course, the great green would be poorer without the beautiful song they sing, the greatest of which can only be sung by many at once. So I just realized I made a bad decision, but that's fine. Sing to me, what is the greatest among the kin? Among the two children above and below, seven are known to many as the paragons, those whom none may challenge and whose names are whispered to the wind. First is Jesus Christ, I'm like tripping. First in might is the scarred one, the broken yet unbroken, many times burned. It dwells in the crimson deeps, where glowing earth flows like slow water. It has mastered, even enslaved, the wild element of fire. Secrets of destruction are known to it, which would shatter even the strongest of minds. Beyond pain and madness, it has found treasures which should not exist. Many beasts and even some kin worship it as an avatar of the end of all things. They may even be correct. Second of the paragons is the last of the Crystal clan, the embracer and merger of all things, the lover and beloved, the all-mother. It makes its home in the hardwood, wormwoods and setwoods from the spirit wood. It eschews destruction and embraces creation in all of its forms. It claims all life is beloved unto itself, and seeks to weave together the fates and even forms of disparate things. Third is the living drowned, the blue cord, the cool darkness, the deep one, fathom. In the setward great blue, it quietly reigns far below the grey waves. It rests in the dark places known only to the hidden, twisted things which give their own light, beings which long to be sun and know only eternal night. It knows all of their secret names and all that has ever fallen into the crushing depths below to it by right. Others are not as near, and less likely to be encountered by young kin of the spirit wood. In a far rightward realm, all kin lower themselves to the presence of Jade Cloud, and the fiery Iceland beyond fear the raging glory of the blade tail of the several mines. And there is the Ruiner, it sleeps, may it never wake. Darktooth has named only 6 of the 7. It is of course far too wise to waste time talking about itself. Beyond all single questions which can be asked, there rest certain truths which reign over reality. As a kin reign over all good beasts, the great lesson imparts such truth. It consists of various trials, meals for the mind. One who is found worthy shall have powerful varieties revealed. I don't know what is this. Truths revealed, which illuminate the path to wisdom. Yet wisdom is power, and all power comes at a price. When a young kin feels as though it is worthy and can bring tribute, it may begin. But safety is not guaranteed. Truth, like all treasures, can only be earned and never given. Here you have 20 treasures. While burning marks are scored into your mind, not song sigils, but curves, pathways, swells. It takes you a moment, but you soon realize that these are directions. That curve is a familiar hill, that line a great tree you have seen before. You know the hidden location of the great lesson, and you can travel there from your lair at any time. Be warned that you may not be able to leave for suns. Only a fool would attempt this adventure without a healthy body and a full core. I think I did everything else first. So yeah. I'm not super fed, but hopefully I'm fed enough. Yes, this is the place. That unusual foreign tree must be the final marker, and in the mental direction given to you by Darktooth. Here lies the entrance to the great lesson. A skyclaw rests on the on the tree, watching you. As you draw near, it sinks. One draws near, pulling away from what it was and toward what it shall be. This is a fate of beginning. Its vastness represents all truth, all wisdom. Why are you worthy to enter? What do you possess? Do you know the great truth? No, I do not know the great truth. Do you have great wisdom? No. Then you are worthy. Remember always that nothing can be filled unless it is first empty, nothing improved until it finds lacking, nothing learned until it admits ignorance. With humility and openness, look down, look down. Looking down at the base of the fallen tree, you see a hole in the ground. It was always there, but it seemed obvious. But it seemed so obvious that the huge stone was an entrance that you did not even notice. It is time to begin the lesson. We have things. Many things. I think I went left. Yep. Sun turns. I think we had that one over here. Yeah, we did this one before. I think we did both of these before. Let's go wide. You discover a water-laved chamber, but your way forward is barred by three curious beings. They seem to have no eyes and are naked, lacking scales, feathers, or fur. We hear you, we smell you. We welcome you by way of the cosmic sound. This is a gate of what was, the only way forward from the maze of what was. No one should pass here unless ask the bizarre good beast taller you pass, ask about the people, what they are, challenge them to try combat, go back. We are the great cosmic song given form, blessed with blindness so that we may only see truth, enkindled by the wise one so that we may sing. Our people were ancient Drak, who fled to the cool underground waters to escape the skyfall. A secret people known to none, shedding all coverings over long eons until we stood naked before the one song. And then, with nothing between ourselves and infinity, we heard it, the cosmic sound, which cleansed mind and essence and contained all things. It begins Om and ends close, an area into Hum. The way forward cannot be seen with the lying eye. Only we know the way deep to the deeper mysteries. The wise one commands, no one shall pass unless the story is sung. How we long to hear it. No song is greater than the high story of the Dragon, save only this sacred syllable. Those who have seen the seven sides and translate them into to understanding. Only such thing may be shown the way forward. Share the story. You begin to sing eloquently of what you have seen, but after a certain period are interrupted. Gaps, rift, incomplete. More rest in the maze. They sing out, begging to find them. Look at the hidden path. Hold the whole maze in your mind. It is retreating, going backwards. Backwards and forwards are illusions. May go backwards in order to go forwards. I think I was the one. I wish I'd counted them. That is one. I'm gonna go down here. Do I have it now? No. That's one. Okay, I feel like that might have been the seventh one. Yeah, okay. Casting your mind back to what you've witnessed in the labyrinth, a story emerges, binding all together. In the beginning. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Forgive us, guest. Your incorrect choice dismayed us, and we briefly lost control of our powers. Please speak only truth, and in order of time. Casting your mind back. Okay, that was not one. Okay, it must be this one then, right? Yeah. In the beginning, Earth and Sun mated, gave birth to life, whose body was her body, and whose essence was his essence, but whose true soul belonged to neither. Thus the Draken came into being. Then this one. The kin spread across the world, adopting many shapes, many minds, but were always of one essence, and always adhering to the great law of destruction, which they learned from Sun, and the great law of creation, which they learned from Earth. They thrived and prospered, and at last one rose over them, elder of the elders, first of the first, the queen and empress of all kin. She had destruction itself in her mouth, and creation itself in her core, and all lowered themselves in her presence. Shit, I'm fucking this up. Need to take it slow. Okay, not this one. What the hell? Okay. I didn't have a problem with this the first time. Why am I having like my brain is not working? Then came the others in their psychic chariots, and the heavens fell burning. The very sky turned against the dragon, and in brief moments eons were unmade. The slaughter was unprovoked and unfathomable. Nearly all the great kin died, though some of the smaller ones survived. Sun shed burning tears, which fell to the ground, and earth vomited up fire in horror. The great empress was filled with wrath. Calling upon the power of creation, she gave birth to a mighty legion of powerful dragon. Then, using the true sigil of the void, she remade herself as the Ruiner, the most powerful beast ever existed, a force of destruction which terrified even the others. This new form, she led her children into battle in the name of Earth herself, for the fate of all good beasts. Okay, I think now I have this. In this new form, at first victory was in the Ruiner Empress. At first victory was with the Ruiner Empress, but others secretly wrought a new realm, a music which ripped apart reality. This terrible new music of the others bypassed body and even essence to destroy what should never be destroyed, and the kin were defeated. Nearly all perished, and the Ruiner Empress was stripped of her spirit crown and authority. Imprisoned deep within the flesh of her own mother, she sleeps through the ages, knowing only the nightmare of rage and sorrow which she still carries in her immortal breast. Having defeated the kin, guardians of earth, and victorious others, the victorious others created three flat-faced, tailless tribes to spread their dominion, the short, strong delvers to seize earth's bounty from within, the wily custodians to tame the great green and gather the treasures of the surface, and the massive enforcers to administer a new law and keep order, keep others weak and docile. The others then departed, promising to return in the future. The few remaining kin slept for long ages in dark, cold places, hiding from the others and their seed. Though the other seed waited many, many turnings, the others did not return. They grew confused and despondent. In their chaos, the custodians rose up against enforcers and destroyed them. The delvers disappeared underground, leaving only the custodians to bear the legacy of the others on the surface. They were now simply notaries. In time, the few true kin who were left emerged from hiding and sought their crown again among the good beasts, a new and changed earth, but they were no longer unopposed. Now the notaries multiply, the strange music warping the void, while the kin are squeezed between a departed past and an unknown future. Earth herself and the fate of all her children hang uncertain in the silent void, awaiting the verdict of time. So it was. The high story has been sung, and the way now opens. We offer gratitude for the pleasure of hearing the high story once more. Pass on and remember, One of the arms shows you the way, a hidden nook below the water. You enter in, flowing downwards through dark rapids. So aliens. Always aliens. Yes, well, the notice were created by things that came from spaceships who nuked Earth so hard that it caused volcanoes. Maybe it wasn't an asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. Maybe it was aliens who then created humans. Water delivers you to a flooded chamber filled with waterborne beasts. They hardly react to your presence, engage in some kind of group activity. The largest one sinks and the smaller ones echo it. 1 plus 3 equals 4. 1 plus 3 equals 4. Momentum is equal to the product of mass and velocity. Momentum is equal... Yeah, I'm not gonna read it. Kevin's Cavern 7 features 4,721 individual stalactites. Pausing, the large one sucks several of the smaller ones into a giant mouth, then placidly continues. One of the larger waterbound approaches you, singing a soft song of greetings. Greetings, honored visitor, and welcome to the School of Knowledge. What do you seek here? When you inform him that you have come in search of wisdom, it seems gratified. You have come to the right place. Wisdom is simply another term for knowledge. Here the instructor imparts crucial information, which should be known to all. Please feel at liberty to join the other students in learning the essential facts of the void. Leaving is not recommended. The monitors do not take kindly to those who leave class before it's properly dismissed. Please note that class has never been dismissed within the collective memory of the beings here present. Enjoy your educational experience. Take a few moments to observe. The School of Knowledge is a place fraught with both information and tension. The students survive and thrive by the ability to repeat the myriad of lessons and structure of the instructor, and so they obsessively repeat the instructor's song. At various points the instructor falls asleep and the students are free to do as they will, but because of the threat of upcoming tests, much of this free time is spent going over what the instructor has previously sung. After tests, most of the content is quickly forgotten, replaced with new material to obsess over. Some of the information given by the instructor relates to the realm of nature, such as anatomy, anatomy. While little of it is useful, most of it applies long names to very specific parts of the body which you can already refer to in much simpler terms. Other times information relates to the study of numbers. The basics such as addition and divisions are indeed useful, but they are studied only briefly. Most of the time is spent memorizing complex theorems and operations which you're quite certain the vast majority have never put to any practical use. In fact, only rarely do the learners apply any facts, which they are constantly given in their lessons. When you point this out, they're surprisingly undismayed. We do not know much more than others, and it is not knowledge. Do we not know much more than others, and is not knowledge the root of wisdom? One son, it shall be useful surely. And besides, in this caravan our success will be guaranteed if we can survive enough tests. Better to hone one's mind than to rely on one's body for safety. You do notice that more survive here than in the Great Blue by far. Question and structure. Instructor is usually either lecturing or sleeping, but you manage to get in a question: who is it and what is it doing here? I am known as Pedantus. I was once a simple Flathok waterbound, sibling of the 300 million spawned by my birther parent, one son. My existence was filled with hardship and danger until the Wise One chose me and opened my mind to the beauty of facts, of hard, unbiased knowledge. My newfound ability to retain these facts made me useful to the Wise One. Now I distribute my knowledge generously to those who hear. These are the principles of my school, the School of Knowledge. First, that only verifiable, quantitative, and unbiased information constitutes fact. Second, that facts are basis of knowledge. Third, that knowledge is a basis of wisdom. You ask whether the theorems and combinations of numbers and digits and labels serve a purpose. Of course. Who knows when knowledge of how to calculate the length of the longest leg of a triangle from the length of the other two legs might save one's life, or when knowing the name of the tiny bones within one's nose may bring one success. But even beyond the facts themselves, what I teach is a better way, a way in which beings are judged on the basis of their mind rather than their body. From this shall flow a new future, one in which brute force shall be obsolete and fact shall reign supreme. Perhaps in time one may solve the hidden equation, and all shall be ease and blessed forever. But even if one does not, we create by this new way a more correct and placid earth, where mysteries lies dead, and all the rest is embraced in certainty. You refrain from pointing out that its way does not seem to be affecting anything at all outside of the small cavern. Ask for the instructor's blessing. The instructor at first ignores your request. It's waxing eloquent on the relationship between certain parts of non-existent theoretical circles. Then it finishes, responding slowly. Only through a sacred test can my blessing be earned. Since you are not of the school of knowledge, we shall begin with a basic test of numbers. Subtract 6 from 5, add 9. What is the result? Not 9. Oh, it's because yeah. My bad. Take a lesson. This particular lesson is based on something called roots, which actually have nothing to do with trees, as you discover. Apparently a root is a number, which when multiplied by itself gives another number, which when the first number is considered a root. The instructor then proceeds to address the unasked question of whether the root of the number 2 can be expressed as a fraction, that is, as a ratio of any two whole numbers. If the root of 2 could be expressed as a ratio of the number 2 would be equal to a multiplied by a over b multiplied by itself, where a and b are different numbers with no common factors, which further implies that a squared would equal 2 times b squared, which would mean that both a and b must be even, which means that they share the factor of 2 and therefore could not be a proper ratio of the two numbers with no common factors. The fact that none of the students seem to truly comprehend the reasoning or significance of this, or even care about it for its own sake, does not stop the instructor from doing the exact same thing all over again with another unasked question and another and another. In the end, a test is given in which the students are required to repeat various facts and principles. Those who repeat them well are rewarded with food. Those who do very poorly become food. Okay, one more time. I'm probably gonna botch this a million times. Subtract 8 from 5, add 6. Okay, so 2, 12, multiply 80, 81, subtract 10, add 11, so the difference is, so 7 times 7 is 49, that's 42? Shit. I said 7 times 7, but it was times 4. I don't, like, 7 times 7 is 49, but that's not what it asked. Extract 9 from 4, add 11, so that's 6. Add 8 to 9, 9. Subtract 4 from 6, multiply by 11, so that's 14, 25. Multiply 8 by 8, which is 64. Then plus 2, so 66. Fuck. No, it was the other way around. This is gonna take me a little bit. Like, streaming it makes it even harder. This is super easy, I know, if you're not retarded. Add 6 to 8, subtract 10, so that's 14 and that's 4. That's another 14, so that's 9. 100, so that's 110 minus 1, 109. Add 5 to 11, 16. That's hard though, 16 times 7, that's not an easy multiplication. 70, and then 6 times 6 is 36, 42. That's 114, 109, 101. The thing is, it's you're on time. There's like a timer on it too, so you can't take too long. Yeah, you can see the timer here. I actually didn't know you could see the timer, so I can know how much time I've. Subtract 7 from 10, add 6. Sweet 9. Subtract 8 from 8, add 9. Multiply 9 by 6. Add 6, subtract 11. 54, 60, 50, 49. Subtract 7 from 11. That's 4, 14, 3, 24. add 8 to 4. That's 12. That's 2. 18. 12. What is a rhozoid when one subtracts 9 from the product of the root of 7? What is a rhozoid when one subtracts 9, the root of 16? The root of 16 is 4. And 8 of 8 and 7. 8 and 7 is 15. What is a rhozoid when one subtracts 9 from the product of the root of... This is the last one, it's always the same, and I think you're supposed to fill it the first time. Okay, but anyway, I wait to this, now that it's gone. Sum of 8 and 7, which is 15. 4 times 15 is 30, 40. Right, the root of 16 is 4 times 15. So 40 plus 60, it's 60, right? 30, yeah, 60, subtract 9, so it's 51, I think is answer. Which I could have done if I hadn't just refused to think on it. Yeah, it was. It's always 51. I thought it was 42 for the reason. I thought it was, but whatever. Add 4 to 9. I actually think these get easier every time you do them. Let's I think how they do it. Subtract 4 from 6. It's 2 because these are much easier. 66. Then 71. It's 60. 1, 8, 3, 12. Multiply. So it's 6 times 6 is 36. This is 30 instead. Wait, in fact, it's 30 and then it's 24, and then it's 34, and then it's 24. And that's 51. Yeah, I mean, but you're like a programmer. You have brains. I do. Relay my greetings to the Wise One. Inform that I continue my sacred charge of spreading knowledge to all. You have my blessing. You take your leave, having proven yourself you said risk of knowledge. Yeah, not at all sure, but that the theorems and facts you've made you any wiser. I actually could have done it in the time, but like, you stress out. And I knew that it was always gonna be the same, so I just was like, whatever. This is like unscored, yeah, blah blah blah. Add 11 to 11. 11, yeah, fuck you. Natural movement is discouraged. Please proceed quickly to an approved source of wisdom. Stay in school. I like love this dungeon. It's like, this is when the game jumps the shark, but in like the funniest way. The stone realm channel brings you to a vast living being. It's clearly waterborne in nature, though you have no idea what kind. You have never seen or heard anything make you like it. At first you feel being devoured, but as you sense its powerful yet gentle essence, the terror turns to awe. Its mind song pours into you like molten shinestone. In the name of wisdom and the eternal deep, welcome. Imparting a minor truth, this is the gate of graduation through which all must pass to leave the school and earn an audience with the Wise One. For the purpose of clarification, you are also discerning the aspirant's self-knowledge. Have you received the blessing of the 4 instructors, therefore becoming ready for the test? No, I have not. The gigantic creature falls silent and does not speak again. Unable to find any other way out, you leave by the way that you came and continue your studies. I should go left side. I hope I don't starve to death, otherwise I'm gonna be really sad. fucking horn monitors, mate. Add 8 to 5, subtract 8. Like, the funny thing is these are like super easy, the ones that the horn monitors do. I don't know if that's like also a joke or something. Jesus, I think I need to like switch between left and right. Yeah. Multiply by 7 from 9, so 2, 14, 24. I can't believe I'm getting looped here. No, I would not like to leave the fucking 11s. I would like to find this stuff. God, I'm getting seriously looped on this. There's no other way here. Oh my god, leave me alone. 88. Multiply 88, add 7. So like -1, which is 87, and then -11, which makes that 76. Okay, how about left, wide? Thank you, Jesus Christ. You arrive at a rocky pool containing an 8-limbed creature which seems to be guarding several piles of ordinary sand. Some creatures nearby are doing the same. Welcome, Draken. You have traveled far and have at last arrived at the one true school. This is a school of wealth, and I am instructor person. Our philosophy is embraced by all the void. Even the Draken live by our way, collecting many, many things to themselves. I currently possess exactly 2,076,438 objects. They are mine and mine alone. What the hell is it? You confess that also you have many objects in your trove. It does not approach such a number. Ah, the joy indeed is mine today. I can call myself whose wealth is greater than the drag. In many appendages squirm with pleasure when you inquire where these millions of valuable objects are. It replies right before your very snout. They are the grains of sand, and they are mine. What do you do? Spend a little time observing. Sand itself seems to be the basis of all activity here. The focus is not living beings, but rather the number of grains of sand which they possess. Every movement and interaction carries the price of sand. It is traded for food, territory, entertainment, and mating opportunities. Some of the good beasts here have even forgotten how to hunt, having used sand to gain... Why is this music so loud? Some of the good beasts here have forgotten how to hunt, having used sand to gain sustenance their whole life. Some few have large quantities of sand, more than others, more than enough, but instead of enjoying it, they constantly seek more, finding new and more expensive things on which to spend it. In this sense, everyone seems to desire much more than they have. The discovery of wealth has made everyone quite poor, and their dependence on another has made them weak, as they now buy what they desire rather than win it. When individual piles diminish, they wail with sorrow and become despondent, even though their ancestors, the most currently living beings, would never have cared about it at all. Despite all of this, they routinely bless themselves for having created this system and sing about how this is the best possible way. It certainly does allow some who would not survive in the wilderness to thrive, but they are also so focused on the cost of objects within the system that they do not perceive the cost of the system itself, or the weakness it brings. I like how he just is smack talking our established existence. Question the use of sand. Ah, youngling, have you not understood the central truth of the void? Many assume that certain objects have intrinsic value, that is, that certain things are simply more precious than others by nature. But this is not so. All that is required is the others agree that an object has value, and once it is established, quantity, not quality, is the key. When I first entered this cavern, there was a great deal of sand scattered throughout. I realized that I could be rich in sand. Then I had the brilliant idea of gathering it all in one place and guarding it, which in turn made others desire it for their own. The monitors would make travel to the other caves perilous, so this is the only sand available. I made it scarce and therefore valuable. It would now be no exaggeration to say that this entire cavern runs on sand, and I have more than any other. What bliss! If something is too common or kin, consider making it rare yourself. If you complained about my hoarding of sand was depriving others of the sand that they needed, such a soft place to rest their eggs. But these were the objections of weak and unfortunate. They have only themselves to blame for not thinking of it first. Ask for lesson. Why, certainly. Normally I would require a payment in sand, but the pleasure of instructing a kin might be reward enough. First principle of the School of Wealth. This is the only material things are real. Only physical matter can truly be proven to exist, and matter is therefore sovereign. Once one disposes of all intangibles and ephemeral ideas, one is easily led to the second principle. The purpose of existence is gathering of material possessions. Having great material wealth affords one respect and security. I need hardly lecture Draken on this. In your own culture, mating opportunities are based largely on trove size, a commendable practice, and even lesser beings understand this. Birthers seek givers who are of greatest size and who have the best territory, or who demonstrate dominance over others. All these things are indications of material success, and nothing more, nothing less. To most beings, success is measured by the collection of vast amounts of food stored in the body as fed. This is indeed a legitimate form of wealth, physical and inarguable, but more advanced beings, such as our own, have moved beyond this and discovered the joy of possessions. Ah, possessions, what pleasures they bring. The dregs seek possessions, with certain characteristics, loosely defined as treasure, but in truth anything can be hoarded, and anything can have value. Here at the School of Wealth, we have agreed that sand is valuable and has created a wonderful enlightened way. For a certain number of grains of sand, I can compel the being here present to do anything. Bring food, cleanse parasites, even perform the songs and dances. Everything has a price. Morality and ethics, which are non-existent falsehoods spread by the poor, have no place here, nor in the one song. Even traditions does not truly exist. I urge you to cast away all these things, which are impediments to finding success in the only way that matters. This is the essence of wisdom, to abandon all intangibles and devote yourself to the fulfillment of one's material desires through wealth. Ask for the blessing. Everything has a price, O kin. My blessing, like everything else, can be bought with grains of sand. 10,000 grains, such is my price, and my blessing shall be given. Spend 2 sons, brave the passage, ask the value of his own life. Millions of grains of sand, so why do you ask? Point out that you're capable of destroying him and his entire caravan, suggesting that it's but its blessing for you in exchange for you not to do so. He blanches a lighter shade of scarlet. How deeply unethical! I must admit, I expected better from a Draken. Do you not know that it's immoral to harm others when peaceful solutions exist? Remind him that ethics and morality are intangibles, non-existing concepts according to the School of Wealth. He fumes and rises, but sinks nothing. It knows it's defeated. I give you my blessing then. Take it and leave me in peace. I am disappointed that you did not earn it through the principles of the School of Wealth. As you leave the cavern, however, you cannot help but fear that you have utilized the School of Wealth's philosophy to attain your goal quite well. So we beat the wealth man by threatening him, as you should do with every good capitalist. You come to a sandy, shallow pool inhabited by a strange waterbound relic of a bygone era. It's surrounded by smaller beings who listen to it intently, and lo, the great being was filled with wrath for those who dared to defy the law, and it spoke, if thou lovest the surface so greatly, then thou abide forever. There you shall. Then there shalt thou abide forever. Then unwillingly they shed their scales, which fell like sand to the bottom of the great blue, and wasted away and perished, floating upwards into the accursed air. And this holy miracle, in which the loving and merciful greatest being killed all who disagreed with it, was a sign of the law. They shall not approach the surface. But those who keep the law and did as they were commanded by the great being, and did not approach the surface, were blessed with much food and many eggs. I'm not saying that word. People reply to the listener with joy. The original speaker then addresses you. Welcome to the School of Faith. I am Keeper One, instructor of the school. No doubt you are dismayed by the false doctrines of the other so-called schools. Here, at last, the path to true wisdom shall be revealed in the form of the unquestionably correct tradition. You are, of course, familiar with the concept of tradition, but this does not seem to be the tradition which you know. When you ask for more information, the instructor responds. The basic principles of the School of Faith are simple and elegant. According to the unquestionably correct tradition, which has never and never will be wrong, there is a relative simple set of principles by which all beings must live. The core of the tradition is the 5 great laws, which were given by the great being to our ancestors long ago. They are as follows. One must never harm others unless they have broken a law. One must never approach the surface. One must share what one has, if one has enough. One must eat nothing which contains the color yellow, and one must have faith. Following these primary laws and the hundreds of smaller laws which proceed from these have granted us prosperity and happiness. Wisdom is defined as adherence to tradition at all times and in all places. If one keeps the laws, then one will never know fear nor doubt, and one's body is destroyed, the greatest being will grant one life unending in the starry ocean above. What will you do? Ask to hear about the wisdoms again. Humble yourself, ask for food. You will lose renown for begging. Spend a little time observing the followers. This is certainly an unusual community of good beasts. They greet each other in the name of the great being and are careful not to do harm to others. A feeling of solidarity, kinship, and optimism pervades the entire pool. Even if untrue, their belief to those who have gone before are watching them from above tends to modify their behavior in constructive ways. When they encounter difficulty, they often interpret it as a test, which reinforces their belief, encourages them to act in the best interest of all rather than merely themselves, and helps them feel as though a greater being cares for and watches over them personally in all circumstances. Excessive materialism is also unknown, and they freely give to each other when they need. They do not worry about changing circumstances, sure in the knowledge that they are keeping the laws of the great being and are protected by its power. There do seem to be a few drawbacks to the systems. There are a number of delicious things which could be said to be yellow in some way, and they deprive themselves of such things simply because the law commands it, though no reasons are given. When the law is broken, even accidentally, the response can be quite violent. So long as the offender continues to profess faith and attempts to adhere to the laws, forgiveness can easily be earned. However, those who openly question the laws themselves, the nature of the stars above, or the existence of the great being, are summarily banished from the school. Some make it to other schools, so many are destroyed by the monitors. By and large, however, this is the happiest and most stable community you have encountered. If you were not bound to the way of the drag, you may be tempted to join merely for the sense of support and unity it affords, even knowing that it's based on factual mistruth. Following these primary laws and hundreds of smaller laws, wisdom defined it here, and I don't know why it repeats it, but sure. Ask about the thing. It's an ancient song to the praise of the great being. We sing it often to remind ourselves of its presence and protection. It is also an easy way to tell those who follow the unquestionably correct traditions and those who do not have faith. Following these primary laws and hundreds of other, The great being. The great being is the most supreme entity which could ever be imagined. One may never depict it in detail, for any given detail can be improved upon, and the great being can never be improved upon. The great being made the one song and everything in it, from the mighty Draken to the smallest secret beings. The great being resides in the starry ocean above. The stars which shine above us at this very moment are the eyes of every faithful being which has followed the laws and now lives in the blessed forever. It points out a few particular bright points of light in the cave ceiling. That one there is the eye of a great instructor of the school of the past. That one there is the eye of a great instructor of the school in the past, and that one belongs to my birthday creator shining down with love upon me still. You begin to explain that the points of the light above are neither stars nor eyes, but merely small bioluminescent worms which cling to the ceiling over the small subterranean pool, but are quickly hushed by the instructor and several of its followers. Please do not joke. Those are the eyes of the faithful, proof of the righteous of our tradition, and not anything else, and certainly not something as base and tasty as a worm. You cannot possibly know otherwise. To even approach the surface, let alone rise above it, is forbidden, and is surely the great blue home to the stars, and not an underground pool. Following these primary laws, and hundreds of smaller laws, ask about faith. Faith is obedience to tradition, even in times of doubt or fear. One must always believe, even when it's difficult to do so. Many beings attempt to use logic and reason in order to navigate life. This is a serious error. The one song is too vast and too complex to ever be comprehended by the inherently limited mind. Only the greatest being knows all. Sometimes the individual may perceive something which appears to go against the wisdom of tradition, but knowing that one is far less than the greatest being, one must surrender doubt and return to tradition, which is the very word of the greatest being. This returning is called faith. When you ask why believing in something without evidence is considered a virtue in this context, while in other contexts it's considered a flaw, the instructor responds. The greatest being transcends all logic, and an exception to all of them, except when it's not, so speaks the tradition. Moreover, if faith is abandoned, the community would shatter, and the deep peace we have achieved would be lost. Faith is a morally correct submission by the will of the individual to the will of the transcendent, and the basis of social order. Faith is spiritually, morally, and socially correct. What are logic and reason to such things? Following these primary laws, ask for the blessing. I want to hear this again. Yes. Never heard someone unless they've heard a pray. Never heard someone unless they've broken the law. Never approach a surface. Always share if you have enough. You must need nothing the yellow and then have faith. Ask for the blessing. I wish to bless you in the greatest being's names, but before I do, you must cleanse yourself. You have been observed not only to approach the surface, but even break through it on occasion. This is a grave violation of the law. He explained that, not being water-bound, you cannot breathe in water, and must occasionally take in air from the surface. It is not a choice to break the law, but merely your intrinsic nature. Irrelevant. The law supersedes our logic and even nature. If you find true faith, you will be able to breathe water. All things are possible for the greatest being. As penance, you shall take the test of the law. As all those who wish to join our school must, I shall question you and you shall answer. What must you never approach? The surface. Which of the 5 great laws is that? I believe that's the second. Which of the colors is not lawful to eat? Why are the answers? Brilliant? I don't know what these colors are. Why do you do this to me, game? Like, it's doing this intentionally. It's fucking douchebag. Under which circumstance must something be shared with others? If one is simplest, if another is in great need, one is surplus. The 5th law means you have faith. Very good, you have learned our great way. I give you my blessing. May you carry the teachings of the unquestionably correct way to the ends of the earth. May we meet again in the starry ocean. Just need one more. I'm on a truck, go fuck yourself. How about I'm starved to death on? Okay, so if it's too wide, leads me back to the beginning. Yeah, okay, good. This shadowy crevasse features quite a few good beasts, mostly waterborne, living a plant-like existence. Each seemed to have created a hole in the sand for itself, and there it remains, occasionally extending or retracting, but never leaving. None acknowledge your presence. When you introduce yourself as a young dragon who has come to learn the way of wisdom from an instructor, the narrow one in the center replies, "What is a dragon?" Define generally, meticulously, unique history, say that dragons simply are what you are. The answer is empty of content. If you asked me what I am and I answered I am myself, you would not be at all be satisfied. An intended question would remain unanswered. I ask again, what is a dragon? Describe the unique history. Using what you have learned in the maze of what was, you explain the high story of the kin. They are the first children of earth and sun who battled others in time long ago and were defeated, but now seek to rise again. You speak of events which you have not yourself witnessed. They may be inaccurate or even wholly facetious. You have no way of verifying them, and I have no way of verifying them, and neither do you. But more importantly, how can speaking of things in the past define the present? I ask what a dragon is, not what they have done in the past. You answer first to answer the question, and so I ask again. Generally, you explain that dragons are mighty beasts which prey upon other beings, gather precious treasures, and grow in immense size. Mighty, precious, and immense are all empty of meaning. Many beings might use the same word to describe themselves. They are nothing to you or even me. What is mighty to one is weak to another. What is precious to one, useless to another. And what is large to one is tiny to another. You are trapped by judgments of yourself and the void which do not exist. I ask again. You take great care to delineate the dragon from all other beings by their physical appearance, number, ratio, and angle of limbs, shape and structure of bone, hues of armor and feather, number of teeth, and more. When finished, you are certain that you have succeeded in describing a beast which could only be dragon. You say that a dragon has a certain number of teeth. If a dragon loses a tooth to misfortune, it's no longer a dragon. You imply that it of course is still a drag if it loses one or even all of its teeth. And why did you include that in your definition? Do you not see that all of these points, which you labored so greatly to eliminate, are false? Exception exists for all of them, and yet those who are all the exception are still dragon. The more you attempt to confine reality to narrow definitions, the more I will defy you. I ask again. You do not know what you are, and you cannot even define your own species. The same can be said for yourself as an individual and for anything you behold in this world. You have failed. Destroy. Insist nonetheless that you are dragon, and being unable to define it in sigils does not change the fact. Ask to define itself. You are not an instructor, I am not your student. You do not have the right to test me. I will, however, be indulgent. I have no definition, and I am comfortable with that fact. Any application of words or judgments to me would limit me, and so I reject them. However, I will note for your sake that my people are often called reachers, and I am sometimes labeled an instructor, and that others call this place a school of emptiness. They are all labels, and as such are all false, but still others use them. Ask for a lesson. This is the first truth. All judgments are relative and therefore meaningless. Consider to me a common range scale is larger than myself, and so I may be tempted to judge it to be large. You, though, are larger than a range scale, and so you may be tempted to perceive it as small. In reality, however, a range scale is not large or small, it simply is. The same applies to all judgments, hot and cold, low and high, good and bad, intelligent and stupid, beautiful and ugly. All these are wholly dependent on perspective. and therefore do not exist. This is the second truth. All labels are false. As you learn from the term, drag or kin is often used to describe beings which look or behave somewhat like you, but the word drag has no actual definition. We can speak of what it is not. A dragkin is not, for example, a fur beast the size of a grain of sand. But we cannot actually define it or anything. We may agree that the term drag applies to you and Reacher applies to me, but we cannot actually define what these things themselves are. The nature of objects in and themselves is unknown and cannot be known. The third truth is reality is unknowable. You have the experience of being here and understanding me, but what if you are now asleep and this is but a dream? And can you prove that it is not so? It is even possible that this is a simulation of some kind, and not only do I not physically exist, but even you do not. Perhaps all of this reality is some kind of game for a higher being whose interest and purpose we cannot fathom. All things flowed from the dream to waking, and from existence to existence fluidity. None of the treasure you hoard nor the prey you consume can be proven to actually exist. These truths alone hold. Such is my instruction, and those who truly understand it are able to reach true peace, free from the bondage of what others judge, label, or even do. Ask for a blessing. What are you? Who are you? What is wisdom? What is life? Yes, empty silence alone is accurate, and will never be proven wrong. You have my blessing. Doubtless, you now wish to put what you have learned into practice through abandoning all judgment and endeavors, existing as minimally as possible, just as the rest of us. Your body is too large for the chamber, however. Go and dig yourself a hole in another place, and occupy it passively. May you rest in emptiness. Now I just need to find exit again. I know it's on the left side, like on the right side starting. At 95. 8. Ow. Is that me? Shit, I don't want to be back here. Go away, you fucking cunt. Oh my god. No, it's good to know that's where the food is in case I really need it. No, okay, we're good. Okay. Blah blah blah. Have we done the instruction? Yes. Your acceptance echoes through the dark waters, and in long silence reigns. Then out of darkness, the first instructor of the School of Knowledge appears. Young one, you have received my blessing and arrived at the gate of graduation. You have learned the importance of numbers and facts from my School of Knowledge. You have seen a new way could be forged in which information could spread from one to many and used to measure one's worth. In time, facts shall be the key to newfound powers and ways. Only those who know every detail can hope to understand all. Will you join our school and devote yourself solely to the gathering of knowledge in all forms? Will you renounce your lair, the search of treasure, and the hunt, and remain here, becoming a beacon of fact and facts alone? No. But why not? It's not my way, great and perfect. What flaws is there in my path? Because I will not be trapped in a small chamber, nor receive my truths from others. I will be free and learn the world myself. Because you teach facts which are never applied, information which has no practical purpose. Because knowledge alone is not wisdom. Fades away, and there's a silence, and then darkness, and then out of the darkness, Keeper 1 swims into view. Blessing of the greatest being upon you, young Draken. You have received my blessing and learned this sacred law given by the great being. You have borne witness to our community of faith and the harmony and peace which comes from embracing the inarguable correct tradition. When our bodies are destroyed, we will surely live on in the great above, and look down upon others from the bright blue stars. I invite you now to take the final step and become one of us forever. If you will swear always to a faith in the greatest being and follow the true law above, then you too can live without fear and doubt, and have the support of others. Will you join? No. But why not? Why would you choose the difficult? and lonely path of the Drakkin over the comfortable and supportive community of faith. What flaw is there in our path? Because your way is not the way of truth, your stars are not true stars, and your laws are not true laws which govern the one song. Because the freedom to seek my own truth is more sacred than the servitude which you offer. Because I am Drakkin, and we are eminent beings of power who forge our own path, not small beings which huddle in the shadow of ancient promises. Because you wish to live in a non-existent past, and I am a being of the true present. What? Because it's lies? Because I want my own reality? Because we are badass? Because I cannot live by lies. Greeting Drakkin, you have made it to the gate of graduation, as I knew you would. Your ambition and powers are worthy of your people. Now it is time has come to join us permanently. We are in need of your strength, and you shall become rich and powerful within the school of wealth. Imagine, you will have such wealth as has never been seen. Other beings will rush to do your bidding. Never again will you have to hunt for a few hundred grains of sand. Others will bring you food and even become it. You will never have to concern yourself with empty belief or agonize over what may be. You can buy pleasure and security, and beyond these things there is no meaning to life. Come now with me. I will even grant you small starting amount of sand, and begin your rise to wealth and success. Be huge and powerful among the lesser beings, and give up strife and hardship of the life you have known. I decline. But why? You cannot deny that my way is the quickest to power and pleasure, and that hoarding sand among us would be easier than hoarding rarer things among the kin. Because I seek wisdom and truth over shallow matters. Because some of the greatest treasures of life are those which you cannot see, touch, or smell. Because I do not wish for ease, I wish for worthy treasure beyond imagining, a true strength which you do not have. Because freedom is worth more than all the ways. I actually feel like this one. This speaks to me. Might not fit my character that much, but it fits to me. Greetings from the name of emptiness. From me you have learned a powerful truth, that all things are empty. Beauty, ugly, wisdom, ignorance, none of these things truly exist. They're all relative. All beings are all of them in comparison to certain others. Many search for a meaning of life, but the true meaning is only that there is no meaning. You're scrabbling for treasure, you desire to be strong. You will never have everything, and you will never be as strong as the sun or earth, no matter how hard you try. This cavern is large, dark, and peaceful. It will suffice. Embrace emptiness and know the only true peace. Dig a hole for yourself here. Seize what drifts by, and give up all the meaningless struggles of life, which bring only pain and delusion. I really wonder what happens if we say yes, by the way, but I've never dared. I shall not. I must move forward. But there is no forward. The very concept relies upon the idea that there is a right or wrong, which way to be, which is judgmental, inaccurate, and harmful to others and yourself. If you move forward from here, you will only contribute to the morass of action spinning about on the wheel of destruction and creation, achieving nothing which will not fade with time. What possible reason could you have to leave this place and continue your old life? What flaw is there in the perfect way of emptiness? Even if judgments are empty of true meaning, the realization should be liberating, not confining. Life is not empty but filled with possibilities. We are children of sun and earth, not of the void. I am what I am, and I must follow my nature. Fierce sun upon my scales, wind upon my feathers, and the savoury flesh of prey upon my tongue. I guess the second one. The last of the visions fades away, and the golden mind song of the vast floating beings flow into you. To expand the Jesus, I'm losing it. I'm like done once I get back to home. The last of the visions fade away, and the golden mind song of the vast floating being flows into you. To expand their aspirants' mental perspectives, all lessons or truth are like the great blue, possessing an apparent surface but also harboring vast and secret depths. Most are satisfied with the surface, few dive beneath to discover the substance, and fewer still plumb the depths to find the strands which weave reality. But such is the way of all who are truly wise. While they may move within one school, they are never truly of them, and ideas are to them challenges and inspirations, not checkers of wars. To acknowledge the truth carried by others, but to also see their weakness, to see all sides of the gem of truth, and not fall in love with merely one of its facets. Such is wisdom. Tenderly stating a final judgment, this place is not your home, you are bound for wider horizons. To express the kinship which exceeds all boundaries of people and mind. May you be blessed. The way ahead is revealed. You have graduated. So, don't get hung up on one you. The lair of an elder. Only in your dreams have you visited such a place. Darktooth's ample essence flows in every stone, cranny, every drop of water. Artifacts of many shapes and colors, some beyond your ability to comprehend, are meticulously arranged in many compartments. Sky claws of the Night Clan fly gracefully to and fro, whispering secrets to their master, and water continuously blesses a huge drag known to many as the Wise One. As you emerge from the submerged passageway, Darktooth eyes you indulgently, welcoming you with a slight inclination of his head and a relaxed half-sweep of his tail. The lesson is concluded. To enter, one must admit that one is not wise. One cannot truly learn unless one embraces one's own limitation. One then learns the high story of the drag. Few indeed are we who remember the other war and the firefall. Something should not be forgotten, and so I constructed the maze of what was to pass on what has gone before. Yet, be not a slave to the past, which is gone. The present alone is immortal. If one focuses on what was, as if it were what is, one will be trapped, unable to find a way forward. Until the last darkness and silence, there's always hope. Both the Draken and the others, and all beings can change. Remember this. After the first test, one descends into the maze of philosophy, where one encounters 4 instructors, each of a different way. In the school of knowledge, one learns that memory and facts have potential to forge a new way, but one must be wise enough to see its flaws. Information without growth or application is meaningless. The materialism taught by the School of Wealth is indeed conducive to acquiring matter, but chasing after wealth and security can easily become a trap. One will never have all things or be perfectly safe. Learning to acquire without learning to let go leads only to pain and fear. Perhaps one would be tempted to join the School of Faith, to worship the deity and ascribe to their beliefs. Those beliefs, however, are rooted not in truth but on a desire for acceptance and order, based on a past which has never been. Such is not the way of the Draken. In the School of Emptiness, the instructor was correct in teaching that all judgments are relative, and many of the concepts we use to label ourselves and others are not real. But while it may be tempting to fall into nihilism, remember that one is alive, and every act of destruction and creation wrought by you changes the one song. You are at once large and small, beautiful and ugly, wise and ignorant. Embrace that paradox and live. At the final gate, one graduates by refusing to be trapped by any single perspective. 4 times one must reject them, understanding that while all 4 instructors were intelligent, none were truly wise. Never confuse intelligence for wisdom. Wisdom is neither a knowing nor a finding, but rather a seeking. This is the essence of the great lesson I've prepared for a young kin. Look beneath life's surface. Deep truth is what which connects, not that which separates. Through my growing understanding of the One Song, I've created artifacts which use the laws of reality to achieve ends thought to be impossible. I can imbue my mind song with the power of earth and sun. And yet, though some say that I am wise because of such things, I believe that if I I I believe that if I am wise, it is because I have not given up the search for even deeper truth, and I'm careful to remind myself that I am imperfect, and that there are infinite things I have yet to discover. Answers can become cages. Learn instead to love questions. Certainty can become ignorance, learning instead to embrace uncertainty, to cherish it like a treasure. Such is my lesson to a young kin. Such is my lesson to you. My creation. Dark Truth blinks slowly, waiting. Ask Dark Truth about, is it truly a creator? The Emerald Flame, your birth a creator, was guardian of the spirit wood at the time of your creation. We danced and so you were created, along with several others. While passionate as in its defense of the sacred land, the Emerald Flame was deeply traditional and strong with the element of fire. Its hatred of the Notirs was immoderate. Many Tearless perished. It would be no exaggeration to say that the Emerald Flame relished in the flavor of their flesh, a dangerous addiction. Finally, on the sun of your hatching, it was destroyed by the Notirs, were utilized, a cunning trap. Now, you are the Emerald Flame's legacy. You possess its territory as well as most of its form. That is common. Newly created kin nearly always take on the clan of their birth or creator. Your scales, feathers, and wings are deeply reminiscent of my old dance partner. Your eyes alone are mine, and your essence is wholly your own, forever. About the trove, what are these artifacts? What you behold here is but a small portion of my possessions. These are the artifacts currently under research or use. I have several caverns full of small shiny things and other artifacts in storage at various locations, most of them in the Great Blue. I am currently involved in a very special research endeavor. Fathom the Great, Paragon of the Sea, joins me in this search for a different answer. When you ask what Darktooth is seeking an answer to, it falls silent and thinks no more on the matter. Unusual creatures in Labyrinth. Yes, the Enkindled, the Oms. The 4 instructors, I enkindled them all hundreds and hundreds of turnings ago. I endowed with them a small part of my own essence, prolonging their lives and granting them special gifts. Each served a minor purpose at that time, but I came to regret what I had done. Enkindled beings are powerful, but the expansion of their being can easily lead them to madness or destruction. I relocated them here to keep them safe and serve as lessons, not only on philosophy, but also on the dangers of enkindling. Not all of my enkindlings were mad failures like the instructors. However, I was able to guide some, like the Skyclaws, at entrance to a better path. A few even came to surpass me in some respects, like the Great Lighter who attends the Gate of Graduation. I consider it a living treasure. But many more have been lost or spiraled into ruin, sundered from their own people and burdened with a mind greater than their nature could support. Beware. Maybe it's a real life lesson. Maybe we shouldn't do some things. Ask about others in their seat. You now know the high story. The others who came from the great breathless above, usurped our dominion, changed Earth's face, and created a Tailors from their own mysterious purposes. They've never even attempted to communicate it. They never even attempted to communicate. We were simply vermin to them, small things to be eradicated. I believe they were surprised, in their way, that we were able to mount a significant defense. Against the new music they brandished in the end, though, there could be no victory. Perhaps 1 in 1,000 kin survived, and even fewer remain. One thing, however, is strange. It is clear that they intended to return, but tens of thousands of turnings have passed, and still they have not. The Delvers and the Tailors, the creations, expected them long ago. Perhaps they will return soon. Perhaps they will return in 1,000 turnings. Perhaps they have been destroyed or forgotten our world. The threat of their return, along with the changes brought by their creations upon our sacred Mother Earth, hang heavy over us, but hope remains. Learn all you can and accept nothing as final. Such is my song to a young kin. I swear this music is like getting louder and louder. Ask the Skyclaw and their relationship with Darktooth. An admirable people like all feather beasts, they were kin long ago. And of all feather beasts, they have best retained our qualities. After coming to the Great Green from the Great Blue, I quickly found that their eyes were as sharp as their talons, and their minds sharper still. I struck a bargain with the White-Faced clan of the Night Skyclaws and the Broadwing clan of the Day Skyclaws. They serve as my eyes, and I tend to certain other matters on their behalf. More than this I cannot sing. They have their own secrets, which I am sworn not to betray, even to other kin, for any price. Ask for permission to leave. Being in Darktooth's lair is both awesome and terrifying. Your fate is entirely in its control while you are here. Even if you are its own creation, you know that one false move could mean you are doomed. Before I even give voice to your desire to leave, he speaks. Permission to leave is granted. Do not return here again unless asked. I will still answer your summons at the border of my territory. If I will it, and proper tribute is brought, of course, the old ways shall be honored. You have won a subtle yet valuable treasure here. Do not forget the great lesson which I have imparted to you in the form of the blue labyrinths. One thing only remains. Take this. Silver Rod. The Silver Rod was granted to you by Darktooth the Wise. It was given without payment in exchange, which is counted to addition, unless of course the giving of it somehow benefits the giver. Payment is not required. I do this for my own purpose. If my estimation of young kin before me is accurate, what results shall be to my benefit. Remember that only by wisdom, the noble and endless quest, may we attain our deepest desire and our true destiny. Remember that all things are one and joined at the center. Such is my advice to my most promising creation. The Skyclaws lead you to a hidden passage which leads you back under the open sky, vanishing behind you. Soon you are among the comforting sights and smells of your own domain. The Hierophant. To spread knowledge is admirable, to spread wisdom is truly heroic. This grants the ability to choose one additional artifact when beginning a later part, which will not help me in this playthrough probably. Your own lair and treasures seem like dirt and pebbles in comparison, but perhaps one day you will be an elder such as Darktooth, who possesses treasures and artifacts beyond imagination. So I think I need to do an event the moment I wake up, which is going to be a pain. It is morning, the dew-shed breeze and sun slow glowy gradually awaken you. Your eyes stretch your body and sluggishly emerge from your lair. As you exit, the scent of a small fur beast crosses your snout. It's strange for such a creature to be so close to a kin's home. Soon, all becomes clear. A squeaking song of annunciation draws your attention to a small bear tail in the undergrowth. When you open your mind to it, it sings a song of great complexity for one of its small kind. It must have been long prepared. Great kin, here I stand, small yet winning, for bear-tailed tribes sing I to you. Taken we have from the kin's empty lair, when not there, when not waking, this kin's shiny things. Now hidden away it is gone from all near places, lost to all but bare tears. For shiny safe return, our enemies you must kill. The deadly legless invader of the villages of the tail beasts. By the fangs 3 pairs, we will be satisfied. What was drag will be drag again. Quickly you duck into your lair to find that though your artifacts remain safe, many of the small shiny things are gone. When you turn to the bear tail, it looks into your eyes, unafraid, awaiting your response. Agree death by tail beast. To get your treasure, refuse to accept loss as permanent, threaten the bear tail, consume the bear tail. agree to hunt. The temptation to destroy this messenger of those who have taken from you is mighty. A fire seed is rising in your throat. With difficulty you swallow it back and reply. You risk much, your life, many lives for my treasure. Such zeal from one so small. I will entertain your wish, though if you dare take from me again, you will find destruction. Satisfied, the bear tail vanishes undergrowth. Each tilby should have 2 fangs, and 6 are needed. The sooner you slay 3 of them, the sooner you shall have your treasure back. You slam your tail into a nearby tree. The noise and pain help express your frustration at having been forced to follow the will of a lesser being. Normally I just always eat it, to be honest, but I just fucking sold the mask for 100, which is why I knew it was a stupid decision in hindsight. You may now charge. I will read these after, I guess. Fifths. I didn't level up Earth, which is the one thing I needed to level up. Fuck. Does my quest log say? Must slay 3 more terries. Which is, I have to go hunt anyway, so it's fine. That's what I will do next time. I have no idea if I get my treasure back. I hope I do, because I just saw it the fucking most valuable item in the game. Can I research? Still a lot of truffle. I got this stupid truffle thing, but I don't know if it's useful for anything. Either way. That was the Maze of Wisdom, or whatever the fuck it's called. It's very educational. And now we know that dragons got killed by aliens. And that we are made by aliens. Which, I mean, I believe it. Hopefully that was interesting. Made good progress. What is really cool, I don't know if I will ever go through it, so I guess I will show it now. You have these, and you can click on them, and it even has text. I don't know if I showed this last time. So it like has like, it talks, it has commentary on each tile. The nature of the art behind it and stuff like that. This game is like an onion, it has layers, it has a lot of unexpected stuff. But yeah, I guess I will do the box, if I can. I guess you still can't get the reward because it says it will be reward. I think, yeah, maybe I don't know what's with you and not being able to get rewards, because it says it will be distributed in 0 seconds. So I guess I can't distribute because it thinks that no one exists. I don't know why you can't. No, no, you got it. Hey, so it did work. Okay. Well, thanks for watching. I hopefully get back to this before too long.